At about like 2 a.m. one night, I'm like basically naked. I open the door and there's just two girls sitting there opposite my door. SpongeBob's been on like full volume in my room, dude. Like, what are you?
And you're naked. Welcome back to another episode of Trash Taste Podcast. I'm your host, Joey, and with me are the boys, the British boys, the BBs.
I thought you'd only have like a Neanderthal or something.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Come on, Joey. Like,
what's up, residents of Cockfield? Welcome back to another episode of Trash Taste
know.
Podcast.
Okay, I'll take
I
it.
didn't
I'll
expect
take it.
that.
If you're actually from Cockfield, then there you go. There's your shout out.
Today, I found out that I was on a Samsung ad by accident. Didn't know.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, no, yeah, I saw you sent the clip to Sydney, right?
No, I didn't.
I saw you retweeting it, I'm pretty sure. Or like
Did I send this? I don't think
posting
I
on
sent
it or
this.
something.
I don't know.
I
That was for your Fiverr thing, right?
So I did a Fiverr video where I became a Fiverr seller, and normally, right, Fiverr you get like vastly undercharged, and it's kind of
Yeah.
like that's kind of how this website works,
Right.
But I got contacted by someone who was like, "Oh, let's do an actual ad." And I thought, great, this is amazing content for the video because I can actually show people like how to do it.
My
Yeah.
skills.
Yeah, right. I was like, oh, flex level,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I asked them a few questions because normally when you do a commercial with voice acting, you need to figure out there's like buyout fees, and depending on basically how much the ad is going to play and how many countries it's going to play in is how
Right.
you like calculate a buyout fee. So there's
Right.
the normal studio fee, which is like the doing the work, and then there's the fee for essentially using your voice worldwide.
Yeah.
And you know, it varies a lot. Like I know dudes who've gotten like 50K. Of
Yeah,
one
I
hour.
mean, you were talking about like in a previous podcast episode about the guy who does the ads for McDonald's, right?
Yeah, he lives off just that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like I did a commercial one time where I got like $8,000 for just 1 hour of work.
Was that the boats one?
Which one was that? It was a car one. I'll have to find it. I can get the link.
Oh,
Maybe
you
send
did
it to me.
you did like a shaving one as well, right?
Yeah, I've done a shaving one in the
Like
past
Gillette
as well.
or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, ages ago.
Yeah.
And basically, you get paid like quite a lot for doing these. And it's like, okay, cool, right, nice. And I
Right.
thought, okay, this commercial seems kind of small. You know, it's like
Right.
this guy.
So how much did he pay you?
Like, I asked because I thought this ad was like pathetic.
Yeah.
Right? I asked for $300
Oh,
because I was like, it's only going to take like 30 minutes.
you were thinking of the content. That was what was on your mind.
I
Right?
didn't want to be too greedy, and I really wanted to get it. So I
Yeah.
thought 300 is a normal like studio rate fee plus like whatever. It's only going to play on the internet. It's not a big deal. And then I actually had to do like dubbing, like
Yeah.
actual mouth dubbing.
Oh,
Yeah, so you actually had to dub out the entire scene.
Yeah, so I dubbed over the dude's
See, I
mouth.
didn't
Yeah.
actually see the ad. I just saw you like retweeting it or tweeting about
It's
it.
weird. I don't think my voice fits the dude that well.
It was so weird watching it because I was watching the ad and I didn't know what the process was, but what it felt like was, remember watching like those old Hong Kong movies where it was like badly dubbed lip flaps over the film?
It's like some Kung Pao shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was.
Yeah. It's not bad. I mean,
I mean, he was still saying what you were saying.
Yeah.
I think.
It just, I
Yeah.
think the problem is that like, especially because everyone knows my voice.
Yeah.
The problem is that like everyone knows my voice, and that's not what you hear when you hear my voice.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Normally, if you don't really know the person, 90% of people are going to hear the ad aren't going to be like, oh, yeah, it's a normal ad. Yeah, no biggie. But people who know me are going to be like, what the fuck? Like, what the
Because
fuck?
it was so weird hearing your voice come out of like a really old man or something like that.
I've done that before, though. Like, that's really like not.
So wait, it was like legit Samsung.
It's like a Samsung ad. Yeah. I don't know what it's for, but.
Man, they got like the deal
I
of the
got
century.
fucking ripped off. Again, I mean, I priced what I thought was fair based on what the seller had told me.
Right.
And if I knew it was going to be Samsung and it's going to be played worldwide like that, I'd be like, what the fucking
Man,
ass
you
for money?
thought you were playing them, but in the end they were
I was
playing you,
getting
man.
played, yeah.
They played you.
Also, why the fuck is Samsung hiring Fiverr voice actors? What the fuck?
Yeah, you'd think they'd like
Come
go
on.
to like professional.
Yeah,
like,
it's a little.
Not to say that some Fiverr voice
Mate,
actors aren't professionals.
Hearing
but-
more stories makes me wonder how many big industry companies are like
there's
going on
a
these
lot.
small sites, like hiring Fiverr voice actors, like putting job ads on Craigslist,
I think-
whatever.
yeah, I think what's
right, Raylin.
Just out her. So what I think happens is that, okay, so Samsung is there like, listen, guys, we have a genius advertisement here. We want a company to handle it. They go and find an ad agency, and then that agency is like, we know just the guy. They probably hire another agency who then probably hires the final agency that
Yeah.
actually makes
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And then they've got like no budget. So they're like, get the Fiverr voice actors. Because I'm not going to lie, a lot of the Fiverr voice actors are really fucking good.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they're getting charged like nothing.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I would argue that like almost everyone on that website is probably a little too overqualified for what you're paying.
I mean, they're either
that's how
really.
the website works.
Yeah.
I mean, they're either overly qualified or they're heavily underqualified.
That's
and there's
true.
no in between.
There'll be people with like a blue Yeti that are like, yeah, I guess I can give you the commercial rights to it, and 50 more words is gonna run you. Oh, geez, $400, man.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, what the fuck?
I've
Yeah.
had that with like artists as well, where like
Yeah.
some of them are just like fucking god tier, where it's like you should make an art book, and then other people are like, just started DeviantArt 2 days ago. Let's go.
$100 per commission.
Yeah.
Let's go. And it's such a coin flip because even if they have like a good portfolio, right? I've had experiences where I've hired like artists to produce like artwork or music or something, and it is not up to the level they put on their portfolio or on their puppet portfolio.
Exactly.
You can tell it was like, here's my A-list work, and you're just getting the D-list work on Fiverr here. You know what I mean?
Because you're not paying me like
Same.
$500 or some bullshit.
Yeah, same with the voice acting as well, because a lot of people get their demos done in a studio, like fully like mixed, produced professionally,
Yeah.
and then they're
But then
like,
when they do it at home, they're just
they
like,
got the fucking blue Yeti set up in a hotel room, and it's like, all right,
it's like echoey as shit.
I don't know if this is what I paid for, like, oh. So yeah, that's how I got fucking scammed. I didn't get scammed. It's my bad. Like,
Yeah.
well played, Samsung.
Yeah, yeah.
So
You
did you record this commercial shoot or commercial recording in your own room?
Yeah, I did it
Okay.
in my room, and I did it like I didn't do any of the treating actually because they wanted to do it, so it was pretty painless. The only thing was is that like, because the lip flaps, they had like fucking, of course, they zoomed in on this man's fucking face. So the lip flaps were so pronounced, so you could see exactly which syllable and which letter he was on.
Yeah.
So, and there was one where they sent me where they were like, hey, can you change the script on this one line? I'm like, no. The man's lips say this thing. What do you mean? Can I change the script? I can't fucking change it to what you've added in like 3 more words. How do you think I'm gonna do that?
You should have done it just to really like drive home the Kung Pao element of it, right? It's
I should
like
have just sent it and been like, this is what you wanted. This is what you asked for. This is $300, by the way. This is what you
That would have been hilarious.
yeah, it's like the lip flaps clearly say like I love Samsung, but you just change it to like buy Apple.
Because it's like the next level from anime dubbing, right? Because with anime
It's
dubbing,
so much harder than
anime
anime
dubbing. You have to match all like the lip flaps with the
There's
same
only
amount of
2
syllables.
frames, right? It's open mouth or closed mouth. Right?
No, 3 frames actually. I know this because I have to edit lip flaps in abridging.
Right,
Because
right.
in abridging, it's easy because you take your script and you just fucking edit these 3 frames of mouths. It's closed mouth, half open, and fully open.
Yeah.
But with dubbing,
Oh my
you
God.
obviously can't edit the lip flaps or anything like that. So you just sometimes you hear some lines and it's a really unnatural line. You know what I mean? Where you just got to match what the animation is.
Right.
Yeah, it's really like makes you, especially if you try and do it, it really makes you fucking appreciate these like in the countries where they mainly dub a lot of the images that they import, like how fucking insane that is that they managed to do like full seasons of shows,
Yeah.
and like it's not terrible.
Right.
But it's
Yeah.
so hard because you're so constrained by the mouth shapes because you have to exactly copy it. And luckily this was English, but like, oh my god,
And
another
then meanwhile, you have
language?
countries like Japan that are just like, fuck that.
Yeah, a lot of I've noticed Japan is just like, fuck the lip flaps, let's just talk over
That's
it.
what makes it
Yeah.
like a million times more hilarious. Though.
Yeah, I know,
Like
right?
the voices, the change in the voices is already hilarious. But then seeing them like say something that just not a single mouth movement is
Yeah.
correct.
You almost like don't mind it though, because you
Yeah.
realize that they're just like they're not trying to do that.
Yeah,
And
they're
it's
just like,
it's like,
whatever.
whatever, man. I don't give a
Yeah.
shit. I was
Yeah.
watching some like History Channel car restoration show on TV, and they had like it was like a really like old British guy, and they had like the proper like samurai sounding old dude going, like that. And I was like, wow, okay, geez, that's not what I don't think that's what he sounds like, but all right, cool, okay.
What was that in front?
Like, that's what the old dudes sound like in Japanese. It's like, I don't even know
Did you say Muna
He just did say
Oh my
I
god.
fucking know,
Oh,
dude.
man.
Holy shit.
Speaking of Muda, did we talk about that time we went to a JoJo bar last week? Or
I
did
don't
we
think
not?
we did.
So
No.
yeah, because I wanted to talk about the JoJo
okay,
bar.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
To explain, like 2 weeks ago, we went to the same JoJo bar that Joey made a video on, and it was a fucking. I don't know what it is about Japan that has so many of like these small bars that are like themed.
Yeah.
But they're like way cooler than any of like the big bars that you go to in the West or that I've been to like in England that tried to make like this themed bar.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it was so small and it was so intimate and it was run by a guy who clearly really fucking loved JoJo.
Oh yeah.
And I think what impressed me the most was the fucking drink list, man.
Oh my god, it's gigantic.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, like because in my video as well, and when we got there, they say that you can film anything, and you can take photos and videos of like any of the merch or anything like that,
Yeah.
but you can't take a picture or video of the menu.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I never understood why. Like, why only the menu?
Yeah.
But then when you actually flip through this menu and you realize there's like almost like 1,000 fucking drinks.
I think there's like, it's got to be, I'm counting in my head, like maybe like around 300 drinks.
Yeah.
I think.
I'd say so, but it's
Like,
like
unique.
more than like your conventional like bar menu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And out of those like 300-400 drinks, half of them are originals. It just says original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all like named after, you know, characters and phrases and whatnot. And you have to fucking like perform the phrase as well to the bartender.
Yeah.
And it's so like embarrassing when like you say like a line, it's like, excuse me, can I get the diddle 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 diddle? And then she's like, okay, one diddle diddle diddle.
Coming right up.
Coming right up.
That's so cool.
Here's your diddle diddle diddle.
Yeah, because to explain how the menu works, basically the menu works like a fucking the menu is the JoJo reference, right?
Yeah.
So it goes by parts. So every drink is either named after a character or a stand or just a random reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you have like a random catchphrase or something. Was there like a drinking part form that was like let's kill the whore or something like
Yeah,
that?
let's kill the hoe.
Let's kill the hoe beach.
There was like a reference to like the dead dog in part 1 in one of them as well. Or was it
Oh
something?
yeah, it was like Danny,
Danny or something
That
like
was
that.
his name.
Yeah. It was something like that.
Something like that. And then there was like, oh my god, there was just so many funny sounding ones. Like I just loved it. There was one Bohemian Rhapsody. I mean, that's a stand. But I just loved that I could order a drink called a Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah,
Like,
I just found it super cool that I was just basically ordering a fucking, you know, Kira Yoshikage or something like that. You know, you're just basically ordering JoJo references.
Yeah,
and I thought
yeah.
that was fucking brilliant.
Although there was one thing that I was like kind of upset about, and I don't know if this is going to be a spoiler for part 7, but I was very upset that I couldn't order a Jesus Christ.
oh yeah, I would have liked a Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was looking through part 7. I'm like, please say this.
Was there a president of the United States as well? I don't think there was either.
I don't know. No, I think there was a. Was
Funny,
there?
there was Funny Valentine.
There was Funny
but I don't
Valentine.
think
Was there not a George Bush?
George Bush?
Wait, because he's a canon character, right? That he appears.
I don't know. I fucking
Or
can't
it's
remember.
like a character that's modeled after him or something. I don't fucking know, but
See, what I love about being a JoJo fan who's only watched the anime, hanging out with you two, who
Yeah.
have like read way further in the manga, is that I was hanging out at this bar and you were just like straight up putting like out spoilers for part 6 and part 7. And the great thing about JoJo is that I was listening to these spoilers and I'm just like, I don't think I've actually been spoiled at all, honestly.
JoJo's the only show that you can spoil without actually giving anything
It
away.
makes so little sense that when you hear it, it's like you just don't see it ever coming when you're reading
It's
it.
like, yeah, so in part 7, Dio turns into a dinosaur because he's going after Jesus Christ's arm, and you're just like, I guess that's what happens.
That was my
right.
exact,
Like, I get-
like
reaction.
I knew that happened, but I didn't like when I was reading it. I was like, oh, and I only realized it when it was happening. I was like, oh, that's what everyone meant. But like,
Because out of context, it's like, how
Yeah.
does this plot point supposed to fit into the story in any sense?
It's hearing it out of context. It's just it doesn't hinder your enjoyment when you
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
experience the entire thing.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm fucking looking forward to when part 6 and part 7
animated. Hell
gets
yeah.
animated. Although hearing you guys talk about it in the bar, I might just like go out and read it. Honestly,
so good, dude. It's so
The
good.
part 6 and 7 manga is fucking
I'm a
incredible.
JoJo like JoJo cocksucker, whatever. So it's like, I mean, I'll fucking
Yeah.
say it's always
is
amazing.
that what the JoJo fan base is called now?
Cocksucker.
JoJo cocksuckers.
That's basically what they are, dude. What is it? All the memes where it's like a JoJo fans when they see an unsucked cock or whatever. Is that what it is? That's the fucking meme.
Yeah.
Like the best part is though, is that like you don't know if the drink, like, because it's just as original, right? So you have no idea what it is, but you kind of got to guess. Is it going to be like a fruity, easy to drink, or is it going to be like just fucking alcohol, like straight liqueur? And like Joey just somehow kept ordering Like just he was like, I'll have the ri and the ora ora ora, and they were all just like basically straight spirits.
Yeah,
I kept ordering stuff that was all like Malibu, fruity drinks. And I was like,
I actually think he has a kind of like a power leveling system going on with the drinks, because anytime you'd ordered like a main character or like or like a JoJo, it was always a super powerful drink.
Yeah, because I know like out of all the powerful drinks I had, I think the most powerful one I had was it was Part 3 Dio.
Was it really? The Ri was like straight
Ri as
vodka.
well. Ri as well was fucking bad. And
I'm like, you had to order a drink by going, Ri hitotsu onegaishimasu.
And then this cute bartender girl is like, okay, Ri hitotsu.
But here's the thing: do you think he actually remembers every drink that he made? Because most of them are originals.
I think so.
Right?
I mean, he has to, right?
Oh wait, when you order the Yoshikage Kira as well, it comes with a
it came with a severed hand, which I thought was fucking brilliant,
cool.
man.
And the Sex Pistols. Sex Pistols comes on like a roulette, like a style table thing with a gun in the middle. And
And it's like 6 different shots.
It's just basically 6 shots.
Which is perfect because a bullet shoots a shot.
Yeah, so you go through the menu. You don't know how strong the drink is going to be, and like 2, you don't know what the drink is going to be either.
Yeah.
So it was just a fun experience, just working your way through the menu and just being like, hey, this is Akira, or this is like a Sex Pistols, and just being surprised at what you got, basically.
But I think as well that's such an awesome like marketing move as well, because that just incentivizes you to go back to just being like, all right, I finished all the Part 1 drinks this time around. Next week I'm gonna go back and finish all the Part 2 drinks. Right?
It's basically like watching JoJo itself. You work through each part until you get through every part.
You can't skip any of the parts. You have to like complete it.
I loved how there was like 5 Rohan Kishubes. It was like Rohan Kishube, Heaven's Store, Rohan Kishube at the Louvre.
No, it was Rohan Kishube goes to Gucci, right? That was one of the drinks.
I was like, how many Rohan Kishubes are there? What the fuck?
No, my favorite one was when you'd order like a Jotaro, and you have to like specify which part Jotaro are you ordering.
Yeah.
Oh
That's so
God,
awesome.
yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I feel like those kinds of establishments are just the most perfect place to just weeb the fuck out, right? Because it's like, it forgives you for weebing out, right?
You
like,
get so drunk as well because you're like, you just want to keep fucking drinking.
Right.
And it's like reasonably priced. It's like, I don't know, like $7 a drink.
Yeah, and all the cocktails were delicious as well.
Yeah, they were
They tasted really, really good. Even though, half of them fucked me up because they were so fucking strong.
Joe just kept getting the straight shots and I just kept getting the nice ones. And I'm like, hell yeah.
I was like, I want something nice to like soothe my throat after all these fucking shots.
Then orders a fucking Sex Pistol and it's just straight up 6 shots. It's not even a cocktail.
I love it.
That was great. But yeah, go check it out if you guys are in
what
Nakano.
was it called again?
It's called
Dio,
it's just called Dio. Yeah, it's in Nakano in Tokyo.
So
It's
when the
fucking great.
country opens up, go and just pay them a visit. They have a Twitter as well. Like Dio
Yeah,
Bar,
they
right?
have a Twitter.
Yeah, it's right near Nakano Broadway, which if you're going to come to Japan, I reckon like a lot of weebs come to Japan and they're like, we need to go to Akihabara. We need to go to Akihabara. But I reckon it, like Nakano Broadway is also very,
Nakano Broadway
very
is fucking
much
awesome, yeah.
like it's kind of like the underground version of Akihabara. Is
It's
what I
like
think.
a condensed Akihabara.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
feel.
It's because everything's you can get most of the things you get in Akihabara just condensed down into one building, and you can basically walk around it for a lot less time than you would Akihabara.
Yeah, there's just, I don't know, there's just like in Nakano Broadway, I feel there's just a lot more like interesting like otaku stores, like very, very niche stuff that like you might not necessarily be into, but it's just really fucking interesting to see.
Because the thing about Akihabara is that once you've been once, you see what the formula is. You know what I mean? You see what shows get on display.
Yep.
It's all like the moe stuff normally, and it's a lot more difficult to find a lot of the niche shows and kind of like figurines or merchandise that are like less mainstream. But in Nakano Broadway, you find a lot of like untapped gems and like some really cool stores there.
There's this fucking store in Nakano Broadway that's like right at the entrance of Nakano Broadway that sell Gengas from like
really?
anime, and
Wow.
like they sell like cells from anime,
Right.
And like
I saw that one.
I
Yeah,
haven't been
yeah.
there. What the fuck?
and
I
some of
wanna
the
go.
some of these cells, I mean, like some of these cells are quite cheap because they probably were like mass produced or like were just based on shows that no one really cares about. But some of the more expensive ones are just like holy shit.
Yeah, I remember there was a cell from the end of Evangelion that I saw from the. It's in the top floor of Nakano Broadway, if I remember correctly, and it's right at the back. But they have some like really classic cells. The most impressive one I saw was one from like the end of Evangelion, on, and it was the Asuka fight as well.
Oh shit!
And it was an expensive boy.
Yeah, I bet.
How much was it?
It was like, I think it was over like $10,000.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
I mean,
For a piece of paper.
I mean, at that point, it's basically like a museum art
no, that's
piece.
true,
You know?
that's true.
Yeah.
How can you put a price?
How do they
on
get that? That's
art?
That's what I wonder.
like how
right?
does that like get in the hands of someone?
Is it like maybe they like sell those off in like auctions?
maybe
or
someone like
something?
maybe some staff member takes it and then they sell it on.
It's like
and-
it's only one cell. They won't know.
like, hey man, this crunch was brutal, man. I'm gonna take a little something home, like make a little cash on the side. you
Like
know?
there's a snitch in this studio taking out our cells.
Yeah, but I think they're only just going to get more expensive because now
Oh, yeah, of
animation
course.
studios don't use cell animation anymore. So
Right.
At this point, it's just become like a memorabilia, right, of history because you can't. I mean,
Flex.
you can get like Gengars and everything like that, but you know, having a good old fashioned cell is just that's just a
because you
flex.
can't like unlike a Gengar, you can't like photocopy a cell. Right, because it's based off like a plastic sheet.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So it's much easier to tell when a cell is completely fake. Because I've seen some fucking completely fake cells,
Yeah.
and it's just like on these like flimsy pieces of paper, and people paying stupid amounts of money for it because they don't know any better. Right? I'm just like, no, don't. What are you doing? It's just a fucking drawing.
Do you guys miss the old like cell animation aesthetic compared to like much cleaner digital aesthetic of today?
No.
It's bittersweet.
I'll be real, like-
It's bittersweet for me. I think like
Right.
obviously like the digital stuff now is like so much better choreographed.
Yeah,
in, like
yeah.
the later ends, like you can tell that like these camera movements were done through a computer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something really charming about like. It's a manual like camera shake
Yeah, man.
type of thing.
Ed,
with the
Ed
cell.
Netty, man. Ed Netty, great animation. Great.
All cells.
Dude, man, I love that. Love the bubbly lines, you
Yeah.
know? I mean, it's just great.
It's comfy. It's
No,
comfy.
I mean, like Redline was all hand
That was
drawn,
all-
right? And
that was all
that's
hand drawn.
fucking, oh my God.
and that took like what 10 years? No,
a
7
little
years.
while.
7 years,
7
yeah.
years.
It took a little while.
It took a little while. Well, like,
But yet no one fucking watched it.
yeah, I mean, I will say that I think on average, animation is better quality now because digital animation has made it easier to get a higher level quality of animation for like most anime.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. There is like a definite charm about watching good old fashioned style
I
animation.
definitely wouldn't want all my anime to be based off cells, but
No.
so there are some like, especially like when you go back to like the whole like 80s just like general anime aesthetic.
Yeah.
That like this is an 80s anime
like
girl aesthetic. Like that on cell animation is just
It's like a bowl of like Rice Krispies. You're like, I never eat a fucking bowl of Rice Krispies. But when I do, I'm like, all right, okay.
It's not bad.
Okay.
Not bad.
But then the next day, you're like, I don't even think about Rice Krispies. That's how I see it. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't, but I'll just
I don't give a fuck about cereal.
I'll just nod and agree. I know literally zero things about cereal. I don't eat cereal.
Yeah, me neither. That's why it's like, it just kind of reminds you of being a kid again. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't fully agree
I
with
don't
the
even-
Rice Krispies analogy, but I'll just assume that like you're fucking
that's what it's like.
You're saying that it's
Old
good.
animation reminds me of like a bowl of cereal, right? Like I don't eat cereal because,
Right.
frankly, I don't care for it.
Right.
There, I said it. Okay, controversial.
No, it's not controversial.
It's not controversial.
Here's a controversial thing. When I do eat cereal, I don't eat it without milk. I eat it without milk.
No, sometimes I
I
do
want
that.
my cereal dry.
Are
I
you
think the milk ruins
It's
it.
better than people who say like fucking monsters who say like, oh yeah, I use water in my
Okay,
cereal.
that is a level even I won't
Yeah.
stoop to.
I'm pretty sure that's like in the like Jiva convention that you can't do that. Right? Like that's like fucked up. Like
goes against basic human rights.
what?
Yeah, dude, I knew a guy in
That's
my
bullshit.
I
There's
knew a
no
guy in
way.
my uni. No, I saw him fucking do it too. I knew a guy in my uni who
Did you call the
like,
police?
Dead ass. Yeah, well, I was about to. Like, I think I'm being assolted right now. Like, my eyes are being assaulted. No, it was fucking
I've
disgusting.
never
He-
condoned like spitting in someone's food, but
Yeah.
I think there's an exception to be
yeah,
made.
he was eating like just, and it was like this basic ass cornflakes as well.
Right.
And I'm like, it's already a human rights crime to just eat cornflakes with nothing in it, let alone with
I
water.
can eat cornflakes with no nothing in it.
Depends on the cornflakes.
Yeah, but like eating it with water is like.
Oh, that's it. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's like, here, let me top my
That's
water
like
with
that's
more
like
water.
who likes the cereal when it's the soggiest, right? Because that's
Right.
all you're doing. You're just making your cereal soggy. Like,
Exactly.
Like, what are you that desperate for hydration that you
Right,
needed to
right.
go for your fucking cornflakes? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's why whenever I used to eat cereal in high school, I would eat that shit
Did
so
he make
fucking
it?
fast.
Did he make
I'm
it through high school, or did he like just not make it?
I mean, he was in my uni, so I guess he did.
Oh shit! Okay,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
University took him in.
I'm like, man, you can't even afford milk at uni. Like, are you that much of a
I smell broke.
Are you that much of a broke uni student that you can't even afford milk?
You just go to the tap and you're like, here we go again, another day.
I don't know what it is about uni and like communal kitchens, and the one
You see shit, man.
the one thing that always gets taken in the communal kitchens is the milk.
Yeah.
It's always the milk. I don't know why. Everything else
It's
is
because
just like
you can take it and you think they won't notice. That's why. But everyone does it.
like you can label your cutlery, you can label your food to be like, don't touch this, don't touch this. You can label your milk, but it never works.
Yeah.
Your milk will inevitably disappear in like a day or two. If you don't
because
touch it.
it's like a lost currency, right? It's like water, but with calories.
I remember.
It's water with attitude.
It's water with attitude.
I had a friend who's in my dorm, and I liked him. And then one time, I did like him, but now I don't.
You did.
I liked him.
Emphasize the did.
You know, he was really high, and then I came in.
Like stoned.
Yeah, stoned.
Yeah.
He was really stoned, and then I walk in and I see him eating cookies and cream Ben and Jerry's, and I'm like,
Okay.
where's my? That's not my cookies and cream Ben and Jerry's, is it? And he's like, oh, sorry, I'll buy you one tomorrow, and I'm like, I was gonna eat that tonight. I planned a great evening watching anime. I was gonna eat that. I don't want your shitty Tesco's 1 pound, 4 kilograms of vanilla that looks brighter than like yellow on the like hexadecimal thing. I don't want that ice cream. That tastes like shit. Why would you? That pissed me off so much.
Yeah, like vanilla ice cream that's like way too yellow for its own good scares me.
Yeah, that ain't.
That's like a fear I have. I have a fear of heights and way too yellow vanilla ice
like
cream.
it doesn't even taste like ice cream. It tastes like something. I don't know what it is. Like that's.
It's like I don't want to eat
No,
something.
what's even worse than that is when you get the soft serve and the soft serve isn't white and it's yellow. Have you ever had that?
I've
No.
never had
Because
that.
at that point,
Where did you get that from?
okay, it's at like it's always just in like the fucking ice cream vans that only come out in the summer in England.
Oh,
So
so
it's-
you're
it's-
talking about in Japan.
Not in Japan.
Oh, okay.
No, no.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
We get the top
Come
tier
on,
shit
they
in
would
Japan.
they would mug
Yeah.
them off here in Japan. Come on, that's a British move. This episode is sponsored by Postmates. If you're like me, you start thinking about what to eat for dinner while you're eating lunch. I love food, but sometimes getting into my kitchen and cooking something delicious to eat just doesn't make it on my to-do list. That's why I definitely use Postmates.
But Connor, we live in Japan.
They're paying us.
I love Postmates.
With Postmates, you can get food delivered without leaving your house or even opening your front door. With the current state of the world in mind, Postmates created no contact deliveries. So now when I order from local restaurants, everything gets left on my doorstep and the app lets me know when it's been delivered.
I hate humans, so this is the perfect service for me.
What a privilege to be living in a world with Postmates.
Postmates also offer a pickup version, which I've been using to order off my local restaurants here.
It's so important that we support and uplift our communities right now. And what better way than ordering some fine food?
And Postmates isn't just all about burgers and sushi. I can order anything from toilet paper to phone chargers from stores like Walgreens and 7-Eleven, and Postmates will drop it off right outside my front door.
God, I wish I knew this a few months ago. This would be so useful.
Just download Postmates on iOS or Android. Find your favorites and get anything you want delivered within the hour. That includes condoms.
why would you mention that?
For a limited time, Postmates is giving our listeners $5 off your first 5 orders for your first 7 days. To save $5 on your first 5 deliveries, download the app and use the code TRASHTASTE.
That's code TRASHTASTE for $5 off your first 5 orders when you download the Postmates app or sign up online.
As we all know, the Postmates tagline, anything you need, anytime you need it, Postmate it.
Including condoms.
Thank you for sponsoring this episode. Back to the video.
In England, sometimes they have these ice cream vans, right? That only come out that one day that it's summer or that it's sunny.
Man, I've never seen them do that though.
Have you ever had the soft serve from one of those ice cream vans
Yeah,
before?
but you see it coming out of like the machine, right? The flake, right?
It's 99 flakes, and some of them they do come out white. Some of them they come out yellow, right? And you always know it's like the shittiest ice cream because it's not even ice cream. Okay, ice. There's the ice and the cream in the soft serve. With this, it's like 70% cream and like 30% ice. So it's like it's not even filling either.
Well, was it you who said that you're not a fan of soft serves?
I think soft serve tastes too milky. It's like
But that's the best bit.
Nah, dude.
It's the fact that it's milky.
It feels like I'm eating milk. I don't want to eat milk. I
You're
want to
so
eat
wrong.
ice cream.
No,
Oh my God.
soft serve is the best ice cream.
Gelato
Get
is
the
the
fuck
best.
out of it. Gelato is like eating
we
a
really-
3-course meal while it like in one soft serve.
I like how gelato can like crush everything else in my stomach down to
No.
make room.
Wait. So you've never had like a creamy premium?
No, I have.
Do you like
I
it?
think it's too milky.
You like it, right?
I mean, it's good because it's a soft serve, but
Yeah.
I do agree that it's a bit too milky. I think
Japan are obsessed with milk. I don't know what it is.
I
They
think
need to, like-
I think humanity peaked in soft serves and in ice cream in general with the McFlurry. I don't know what it is
I'll
about.
agree. I'll
I don't know
agree.
what it is about the McFlurry, but I can eat that shit like
I
for an
wouldn't-
eternity.
Is the McFlurry a soft serve?
I mean, technically,
I feel like it's in its own category of ice. Like it's not even like.
I mean, out of us three, you're the only one who ever worked at McDonald's. Man. So
Yeah.
if anyone should know, it's you.
so it comes out of a machine, right? That kind of looks like a soft serve
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
I mean,
Yeah.
is
Is
it
it a soft serve?
It's soft.
Okay.
I don't
I mean,
know.
it's the same ice cream that they put in the cone for like McDonald's ice
Yeah,
cream
like
as well.
the 20
But
cents.
I don't know what it is about putting a soft serve in a cup and then putting some toppings on it and then fucking spinning it.
I can't
Spinning.
What? Mixing it. I don't know why that's just the magical formula, but I remember the first time I tasted McFlurry. I'm like, I like all these ingredients individually, but put them together and mix them in a separate way.
You
and
McFlurried in your pants.
I'm McFlurried in my pants, basically.
I can't even remember this, but is the milkshake machine and the ice cream machine the same? Do they use
No,
Is it not? But it's the same machine, right? It's like two different settings.
I think
right?
I've had like 3 McFlurries in my life. So
What?
Yeah.
No, because the McFlurry, the ice cream machine in McDonald's actually works. The milkshake, it's like 70% of the time, it's not working.
Because I remember when I worked at McDonald's, I had to like refill the milkshake machine, and it was like it's just like a sack, like it's just a sack of fluid,
Okay.
right? And to fill this up, right, you have to like hold up this bag, loosen the cap, and then like pour it in with a bag. Have you ever tried to pour something out of a bag?
Yeah.
It's like the fucking worst.
Yeah.
Like there's no like faucet or anything, not faucet, fucking like lid or anything to
Yeah.
direct it. It's just a fucking hole.
Yeah.
And so I'm pouring this thing, and then a little bit obviously like started splashing. And obviously when it starts splashing, you like fucking whatever, and I put it all over my fucking self in front of everyone, and the machine was broke.
And then
the machine was
everybody
broke.
came around and
The
licked
machine
it
was
off.
broke for another hour because we had to
Yeah.
clean everything up that I fucking spilled everywhere.
So
God,
what was
I
inside
fucking-
the bag? It's just like
It's
cream.
milkshake mix. It's
Right.
just like
So
mix.
why is the milkshake machine always broken?
They have to clean it constantly. Like that's when I was there. Like they would fucking clean it every few hours because apparently, obviously, the milk can get stale really fast.
Yeah.
So they
In an
clean it.
hour though?
No, but it's like they have to clean it. I think like 2 times a day at least. I can't remember because like
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the milkshake machine was basically the same as the ice cream machine.
Yeah.
And that's because a McDonald's milkshake is basically a fucking
Ice
soft
cream. Yeah,
serve
yeah,
but you have to drink it through a straw.
Yeah, it's a melted soft
So
serve.
like every time I get a McDonald's milkshake, you have this like 5-minute grace period where it's impossible to drink the fucking milkshake, right?
yeah, true.
Because
But that's great because you can eat the food and then you can drink the
Yeah, yeah,
milkshake.
Because you try sucking in it, and the straw just fucking collapses in on its own weight. You know what I mean? That's like the McDonald's milkshake
You create like a
experience.
mini
man.
black hole inside of it. It's just fucking everything gets crushed.
So like my brother worked for McDonald's, and when I turned 16, I really wanted the fucking Xbox One. So I was like,
Okay.
I'm gonna get a job at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You get paid like £4.10 an hour, which is like $5. I was like maybe $5.50. And yeah, I fucking hated it. And I remember my brother telling me, he was like, yeah, you're going to get sick of McDonald's food really fast. And I was like 6 months in, I'm like, I fucking love this food still. Like, because you'd get to make your own, like, you weren't supposed to,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
the managers were like, you can have this. Like, you
Yeah.
go on. So you can basically make your own burger.
Right.
So I used to just make like in the UK, we have like fried chicken sandwiches,
Yeah.
like fancy ones. They used they had like a better meat. I mean, it's still all fucking awful. But I would just fucking put like a handful of fucking bacon and just shove it on. That was like the best part.
Right.
And then you could get like meals for like half price, but everything else was fucking awful at McDonald's. Everything was awful. Like the
Yeah, I bet.
the people were the worst part, man. They were just like,
Well, like the workers or the customers?
the workers.
Oh, really?
Because I just didn't get on with any of them. And they were all, you know, like not to be mean, but a lot of the ones that I worked with were like people that like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be friends with.
I don't know. Whenever I go to a McDonald's and I see like an employee smiling, I'm like, he's sus.
Yeah.
Like, well, who is he murdered today? So some like Orange is sus right now. You know what I mean?
I remember I legitimately got like I got like I had to go and sit in I got like fucking put on like detention for like 20 minutes because
at the McDonald's,
because I was working on the fucking like making the chicken burgers and the burgers. I was making the burgers and they told me off for not smiling. And I said, why do I have to smile when making burgers? And they looked at me like, why did you ask that question? And they told me to go and take a break for 20 minutes.
It's like a George Orwell novel, isn't it?
I was like, what do you mean?
Dystopia. Everyone has to smile.
I was like, what do you mean? Why am I not fucking smiling, mate? I'm making a fucking burger. What do you mean? I couldn't believe. I was furious.
It's like they're at home. They make their own sandwich. It's like, shit, I forgot to smile.
I couldn't believe it. And so I was like 16 one time. And the one time where I was like, I fucking hate it here was when they were talking to me, and these dudes were like 25, and they were bragging to me, like both of them were bragging to me about how they were going to the party in the school next to me of like 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
And I was like, so you went to a party full of 16-year-olds? And they're like, yeah, it was sick. And I'm like, why? Why did you go to a party full of 16-year-olds? You're 25. And they were like, oh, I wanted to get with the girls. I'm like, what?
Yikes.
In the UK, it's legal for 16, but I was still like, what?
Yeah, but
what
still.
The fuck?
Yeah, but still.
And the only nice people there were the ones above 40, but everyone near my age was just the fucking worst. And every time I had to go and train someone, so I was there for like 3 months, and after 3 months, you're ready to train people. You're a fucking McDonald's veteran because you've lasted more than 90% of the fucking employees. No joke. Because
I believe that.
Yeah, I believe it, but it's hilarious.
They hired they overhire because they know that people are gonna like leave. Just on like. So I was teaching this one guy, and he was clearly like just like not getting it and didn't want to get it. And I could tell he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna listen to this. Yeah. So about 2 hours into his shift of me teaching him, he goes like, I'm gonna get a smoke break. Just never came back. He just left. he just straight up left. He never came back. And then I had to do the whole shift on my own, then doing all this shit. And I was like, I went to my boss and I'm like, he didn't come back.
He just went for a smoke break. And
he went for a smoke break about 2 hours ago.
Dude, he just pulled like the dad leaving for a
that's
smoke
what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
He went to go buy cigarettes. He never came back.
Yeah, and he never came back. And I was like, wait, so what do I do? And they're like, oh, you just got to work on your own. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? There's like, I got for one another time, I was making, it was the same guy actually. It was the first hour I was teaching him. And when you're.
So what was the entire timeline? How long did he work here that you had to teach him for?
2 hours and a half, and he went for a smoke break. But I had to keep working because, and I asked, okay, this is really bad. And I could have fucking sued McDonald's for this.
Yeah.
So, when we were, this really fucking hot oil. It's like 400 degrees, something ridiculous.
Like fry oil.
Yeah. It's ridiculously hot. And this asshole next to me, I was like, yeah, just gently put it in, next to me while I was showing him, I'm like, yeah, so put the chicken nuggets in here. And he fucking slams them in, right? Oil went all over my hand, right?
Yikes.
And then I asked, could I go and put it under cold water to my boss? And they were like, no, you got to keep working. And I'm like, what? Jeez. So I'm here fucking like crying of pain, making these fucking burgers, right? And
don't forget to smile.
Yeah, don't forget to smile.
Right, don't forget to smile.
I have a 3rd degree burn.
And so I'm about an hour later, it's finally my time to get a break, right?
Yeah.
And I'm eating my burger, and you can see my hand is just bright pink and like blistered.
Yeah.
And the other manager, because of course there's multiple managers for this one McDonald's. The other manager comes in and is mortified. He's like, what the fuck is that? He's like, what happened? And I'm like, oh, I spilled oil on it. And then he's like, why didn't you put your hand under water? And I was like, oh, because the other manager said I couldn't. And bear in mind, I was like 16. So, I should have known that I could have been like, no, fuck you, I'm putting my hand under water. But when you're 16, if the boss tells you to do...
You do what you're told,
you do
right?
what you do, right?
Of course.
So, and then he was mortified, and the other boss got in so much shit, and they apologized to me profusely. And then they were like, yeah, it's okay, you don't have to come into work tomorrow, it's all paid. And I'm like, wow, that's so nice of them. But I realized at the time, they were just like hoping I wouldn't fucking try and sue them, right? Because I could have. Like,
you could have easily.
I should have, honestly. And
that's like some serious OH&S problems.
Yeah, and then finally, when I quit prematurely because I was just done. My manager was a total bitch. The store owner was horrible. She hated dudes. Like she would always be so nice to the women working there, and and then whenever a guy did anything wrong, you'd absolutely like shit on.
Yeah.
I know I'm talking so much. Sorry, it's the last story.
I just can't get over the fact that the dude left after
Yeah,
2.5.
he fucking left.
My man was speed running McDonald's.
Like I respect
Any
that.
percent. 2.5
It
hours.
took me like 8 months to realize what he realized in 2 hours, right? Like that's what like I regret.
That's just respectful at that point, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, all right, this isn't for me.
Right.
I'm a head out. I'm out.
He just wall clicked out of there.
It's like, you know what, the reduced money on the meals just isn't worth it, right? Because okay, you got to admit, right? I was the fucking king when school, and I was like, you want a lunch break? I get half price off McDonald's meals. Who wants to come? You get 2 meals.
I remember the cool kids in school where whoever worked at the coolest place and could get like the big
Discount, yeah.
the discount. So
Yeah.
whoever worked in the fucking gaming store,
Right,
they
right.
were the king.
Yeah, because I could bring my mate on lunch. I'm like, we can get a whole McDonald's meal for £2. Whole meal, any size you want. Treat yourself. Yeah, it was great. I mean, I could have got fat. So anyway, I'm working like a shift, right? And then I'd actually been training to be a lifeguard. I did all the stuff, and I applied to be a lifeguard. And you know when you work for a place, you got to put down a reference.
Yeah.
Have you ever had this where they actually contact the reference?
No.
I'd never had that. So I just thought it was like a myth.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a bluff. It was like, go on, name someone. Name someone.
I fucking dare you to call me.
Name someone who will interrogate. I dare you.
Yeah.
So they actually fucking called my McDonald's whilst I was working my shift.
Right.
So they do it, and they come in like, so Connor, are you looking for other employment? And I'm like, why? Like, what do you mean? Like, because we just got a call from the council asking for a reference for you to be a lifeguard. What's up with that? You didn't tell us. And I was like in my head, I'm like, why do I have to tell you?
Yeah.
Like, fuck you. You pay me $4 an hour. Like, what do I owe you? Like,
Yeah, what are they going to be? Like, you can check out, but you can never leave.
yeah, and I was like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, I was looking for a better job, and they fucking like flipped a switch when I said a better job. They were like, what do you mean a better job? Think McDonald's is a bad job? And I was like, well, I mean,
Yes.
I'm like looking, I'm looking around, and I'm like,
What surprised me is like how little self-awareness they seem to have over there, right?
because the thing is, right, I don't want to shit on some of these guys, because I know I've met some managers at McDonald's that were genuinely like super nice guys,
Yeah,
and they have such like, they understand like it's a McDonald's,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But the managers at my McDonald's, they were like, what are you trying to say? Like, you trying to say my managerial job is like a joke? Like, and I'm in my head, I'm kind of like, yeah, kind of.
Yes, actually.
Did you see the safety thing we had to fill out online? That was a joke. Come on. It's like, don't shit on the lettuce. Obviously, don't shit on the lettuce. So the manager's really pissed off, right? And the store owner is coming in 10 minutes, and he's like, I want you to talk to the store owner and explain yourself. In 10 when he comes in, I'm like, are you serious? I'm 16. So.
They really did not want to make you leave.
They really like fucking put me through the ringer, dude, for this $4 an hour, dude. Like, can you believe that? So
like, you want your Xbox,
and my mom
right?
wondered why I fucking hated working here, and she was like, "No, you're just over exaggerating, Connor." And I'm like, "No, it was awful." So the store owner comes in, right? And they make me go and talk to her in front of the customers, and she's rinsing me in front of these customers, like shouting at me in front of these customers, and I thought that was like weird.
Yeah.
And then I was like about to cry, and I'm like, you know what? I quit. I quit.
He said it. He said it.
I was like, you know
I'm
what?
going for a smoke break. I'm gonna take my smoke break.
My mum was so pissed off at me. She was like, you have like, because I'd actually been accepted for the other job. And I had a whole like a month and a half left before I start the other job. She's like, I can't believe you quit a month and a half before your next job, Connor. Like, that's really like, what the fuck? And I was like, Mom, you don't understand how awful this was.
It's McDonald's.
Yeah, and like she was just chewing me out in front of these customers, and like I was just like, I'm not being paid enough to be humiliated in front of these random people, right? Like I don't. Come on, man. Like I am so fucking young.
Did you smile the entire time?
No, I was just sitting there like, okay,
Show the smile as you're getting rinsed.
Yeah, and as she was just doing, I'm like, all right, you know what? Fuck it, I quit. Like I quit. I'm done. Like I'm not doing this. I'll finish this shift, but I'm done after this. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I never heard from them again. And then I went there like 3 years later after I'd like been killing it on YouTube. And then the manager, the one who's a dickhead, was like, what are you doing now, Connor? I'm like, well, I'm kind of...
wouldn't you want to know?
Well, I just got back from LA. I went to visit my friends in Japan. I was just making, I work when I want, make my own hours. It's great, You
should have just been like, oh, I eat at Burger King pretty regularly.
Just fill my tax return. Damn, did you know the tax rate's so high when you earn so much money? Dude, damn, that hurts, man. I'm sure. Okay.
Anyway, can I have a McFlurry?
I mean, some of them were nice, but yeah, everyone was an asshole.
Yeah, mean, like, working in retail is like this. This isn't a diss at anyone who works in retail, but it's
hard, man.
As someone who has worked in retail before, you know, a lot of people in college or in high school that get their first job normally works in retail, and it's normally just to fuel whatever hobby they have.
Just
or,
stick up for yourself, man. That's like this thing that I wish I did. Like, I wish I like just didn't roll over because I was very obedient as a kid, and I didn't really like. Yeah, I was always just taught like whatever the elders or the person in charge says. Just
exactly.
They know best, right? I don't know what the fuck I was doing at McDonald's. Like, what the fuck was I doing? Like, I had no idea what I was doing half the time. I just did shit, and dude, oh my god, I used to spend like when they were like go and get some fries out of the freezer. I used to spend like 10 minutes just sitting in there because I was like, fuck, dude, what am I doing, man? And it's so hot in the kitchen. That when you could get to you're like, who's gonna get the fries?
Me. You just had a fucking existential crisis just getting fries.
The McDonald's freezer has become like a panic room.
I would literally just go there for like 5-10 minutes as long as I could get away with and just sit there and be like, fuck.
Imagine if you open up the freezer, there's like 3 other employees in there. It's like,
just like everyone's hiding in the freezer.
I was so jealous. There was this one dude and his whole job was just moving the crates into the like freezer, and that was his whole job. And I'm like, I want that guy's job. Fuck being in front of the deep fryer, man. That made my acne so bad.
Oh, I bet. Fuck
like I remember when I worked at Co-op, there would be always these odd jobs that I wish I could get. Like there would be one guy's job was just to fucking go outside and collect all the trolleys that people have taken to their cars.
Oh my god, I want that.
That's so nice because you could just like listen. You don't have to interact with anybody, right? Like that's the best job.
Because I was always on the till, right?
Yeah.
And my least favorite part of the job was when anyone would like try to make small talk, and I'm just like, look, I'm just here to fucking scan your food and take your money. Why are you trying to talk to me? I don't give a shit about how your day is going.
Beep. Nope.
I know. I got that smile talk as well because like when they talk to you, you gotta smile and you gotta be having a good day no matter what's going on. And I'd just be like, I don't know. I would. I didn't have like any bad experiences with the customers. But I mean, I had some like fucking awful managers as well.
What's up with those cashiers, right? Where they would like take fucking joy out of IDing you. What's up with that? You know what I mean? Like, if you ever get that?
Finally, my power move.
It's like literally like I'm being pulled over by the cops when they ID you for like a beer. It's like, ID, please.
Because at that moment in time, they have all the power.
They like look at you like, sorry, nice address. That's a nice area to live in.
Like I hate that. Like every time, like because in Australia, right? Like whenever you go to a bottle or when you go to a liquor store, they have to ID like everybody, even if you like clearly look like you're over 20.
Challenge 25, I think is the rule.
I remember like I went to Bottle with my dad once, and my dad got ID'd. and I remember like he was like, obviously they ID'd me because I was like 22 or whatever, right? Like obviously, but then the guy looked at my dad and was like, ID please. And my dad straight up said, you fucking kidding me? Do you know how many gray hairs I have on my face? It's like, of course I'm not fucking 20 years old. And the kid was like, all right, fair enough. I hate that though. Like it's the movement of looking down at your ID and then just looking at you with your eyes like this.
Yeah,
it's that movement. I'm like, what is this fucking LA noir like?
I would hate the process whenever I was working co-op and I had to ask for ID because I was 16 at the time as well. And like it just felt wrong asking someone for ID when I was obviously like younger than them. So anytime I'd have to ask for ID, it'd be like the most nervous stutter. Like it would be like it was as if like the power dynamic was like the other way around. So I'd be like, can I have your ID please? And honestly, like if they gave him their ID, I'm just like, okay, they're probably overage.
Didn't even check. Oh my god!
I don't have the balls to ask my manager to come check this, man.
Can you check this guy's ID, please?
If they've gone through all the trouble of getting the fake ID, just give it to them. Fuck exactly. Fuck it, why not?
No, it was like, remember your 18th birthday though? The first time you go to buy like a fucking bottle of beer.
And admittedly, I don't remember my 18th birthday for numerous reasons.
I don't remember what I did, but I do remember being like, being able to finally buy
I remember that first pint or that first beer that I got. And it was like the biggest fucking empowering power trip that I've like that I had felt in my 18 years of living until then.
Always living life on the edge before that, you know.
Hey there, boys and girls. It's me, Mr. TT. or whatever the hell I called myself last time, here to let you know that this episode of Trash Taste is sponsored by Guardian Tales. Guardian Tales is a classic action-adventure RPG with cute pixel graphics, unique story with a different theme for each chapter, full of callbacks and references to popular games, books, movies, and other pop culture. Choose from more than 50 characters and over 200 unique equipment within 10 different equipment types. And for those of you who like gacha, characters and equipment can be acquired from loot box summons. You can change up the looks of your characters with a variety of costumes, and complete characters and equipment sets for bonuses. So what are you waiting for? Go get them all. There are different modes you can play in as well, like dungeons and unique tower mode, as well as a single story mode where you clear stages with an entertaining storyline by solving puzzles, battling monsters, and finding hidden secrets. In multiplayer modes, you can play either 4-player real-time co-op raids or real-time 1v1 PvP. In the challenging tower mode, you can face challenges that can only be cleared with specific weapons and character types. And there are 4 different types of dungeons to acquire guild experience, evolution stones, and item enhancement materials. There are also a bunch of social and housing features, like the floating castle, where you can create your own floating castle to place buildings and structures that generate wealth over time, and guild houses that can be customized and you can walk around them in real time with other guild members. But if you pick up Guardian Tales right now, there is a brand new update you can play called the Ra Empire. Pick up the new 3-star hero, Noble Succubus Bianca, and check out the new world, Chapter 9 Ra Empire, with 5 main stages, 6 sub-stages, 1 main quest, and 6 sub-quests. So if that sounds like something that is interesting to you, then make sure to click the links down in the description below to check out the game for yourself. I've been Mr. TT, and thank you to Guardian Tales for sponsoring today's episode. Back to the video. Whee!
So anyway, let's move on to the actual topic
That
of
was,
the title of this episode.
that was a very long
Yeah,
tangent.
50-minute tangent, only on Trash Taste.
I've seen the subreddit. People are like, they just make a whole episode of tangents. So it's,
I mean, that's kind of what just happened, right?
Yeah,
We went from anime sales to McFlurries to McDonald's.
One can argue, what is even the tangent anymore, right?
I was going through my bag. Because you just have like fucking papers in your bag that just crush down that you're like, what the fuck is in this shit?
Yeah.
Then you finally like claw it out and you're like, God, that's disgusting. But I pulled one out and it was like an Anime Expo pamphlet from when I went to Anime Expo.
Really?
And I was like, I miss Anime Expo so much.
I miss anime conventions, period.
So much, man.
I miss large crowds.
I miss getting sick from all the people fucking coughing and sneezing
I
on
never
you.
thought I'd miss Conflu.
God, I just want to be sneezed on and don't worry about dying.
Yeah, I just want to handshake with like the sweatiest weebs of all time.
I want a hug that's a little too damp for my liking. You know, and just like, you know,
I
miss it all, man.
want to put a hand on my shoulder, and the shoulder's like really wet for some reason.
I miss going into the gaming room and just feeling like the dampness of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like the fucking, I don't know what it is about the gaming room and
because everyone's sweating in there, that's why.
It's all the nen from all the players accumulating.
It's all the game of you.
Like you need, like the fucking room needs its own weather report. You know what I mean? With like a humidity report.
Smash room, cloudy today.
There's always mushrooms growing in that room.
92% humidity. Yeah, but let's talk about the actual topic of this episode, which is funny or weird convention
just
stories.
Conventions, period,
Yeah,
right?
just conventions. Just
because
conventions.
like I've been seriously craving conventions.
Honestly, I never thought I would miss conventions.
Need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think I hit a new low the other day, guys, because being stuck in the country, I'm very used to flying out and going to conventions and stuff.
Yeah.
So like Casey Neistat videos started getting recommended to me of like him sitting in like first class seats. Of, like,
I started
the
watching
Emirates
more.
Yeah.
And then I watched one, and then I watched the entire series because I just missed the feeling of being in an airplane. So I'm just like, God, I wish that was me right now.
God's like in his chair reclining. Oh God, it's so uncomfortable. I miss it. I miss it so much.
And every time Sydney comes in, he'd be like, beef, please. Just creating your own turbulence. It's like, this is fun.
Yeah.
I remember, I think it was I don't remember if it was last episode or the episode before, but you were talking about like, this is the longest period I've ever been like, that I've spent not being on a plane.
Yeah.
And so many comments in the subreddit being like, wow, that was the most privileged thing Ghana's
Yeah,
ever
it's
said.
true. I did think that.
But it's true. Like,
No, because I didn't come from a very privileged background, but
Right.
it's just part of coming from an international background, I would say, because
Yeah.
I mean I'm full, like my full blood is Thai, but I was raised in England, so any chance we could get to fly back home to Thailand, we did,
right.
and that was just part of my life. Every year I'd go back and visit grandma
Yeah.
and visit my
plus
family again.
Sydney's from America,
fit
right?
cities
So
from
you fly
America
to
as
America
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, good privilege to flex. Go on.
I'm not privileged. I'm blessed. Yeah, but like I don't know, like just it made me miss like this year with just the lack of conventions because I thought at least that like maybe there might be like some smaller conventions that we could go to here because in the back of my head like just the other day I
Is
was
it the
like
same though in Japan? Like I miss the kind of scummy atmosphere.
oh no
that
of course
American
but I mean like
cons
I've been
have.
a few yeah I get that but I mean I've been to a few conventions in Japan and it's still pretty fucking fun because like just the other day in the back of my head I was like well I'm probably stuck in Japan until what at least like end of April I think the Japanese government said so in my head I was like oh that means I can go to Winter Comic-Con finally. But then I was like, wait, conventions aren't going on. Like, fuck. The one time I can go to Winter Comic-Con and Winter Comic-Con's not happening.
Exactly.
It fucking sucks.
But what I heard, all the stories I heard about Comic-Con is just basically it's you go in and you buy the merchandise or buy the doujinshi or whatever, and then you leave. You know,
That's what I heard.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the convention experience that we have in America.
Think of Anime Expo or any convention, but the entire convention is the artist alley.
Right.
That's what Comic-Con is.
Right.
It's just a stupid amount of just tables and desks where doujin artists are selling their doujins. Or
Honestly, though, I remember when you first go to conventions, right?
Yeah.
I remember like the first conventions you go to, I try to go to every panel.
Yeah,
I'd have a fucking full on schedule where I'm really like, okay, this is the time I'm going to the panel. This is the time I'm going to hit like the artist alley. This is going to be the time where I hit up like the convention floor and everything.
Yeah.
And now you go to enough conventions and you're just like, whatever, man. I
Now
don't
you go to
have a
enough
schedule.
conventions, just like, let's go to Chick-fil-A.
I've never been to a panel that isn't my friends or my own.
Yeah, me neither.
I've never
Me
been
neither.
to. I've never like just seen a panel and been like, that looks fun. I'll go. Like I just don't. Like I'd rather eat.
Yeah, eating's great, but
Like,
I remember
go
like
to hang out with people.
now.
right?
Now my favorite place to go in the actual convention is probably the artist alley because the artist alley,
Yeah.
when I first started going, was the place that I never hit up, and then now you go to enough conventions and you live in Japan as well, and you go to like the main hall, and most of the stuff you can find in the main hall is like synonymous across all
Right,
anime conventions.
True,
But,
true.
but I feel like artist alley is where you find all the actual cool shit.
That's
you know
the
what I
thing,
mean?
right? It's like usually with conventions, the only thing about a convention a lot of the times that's completely different to any other convention is the artist alley.
Yeah.
Because you'll always find some fucking artist or whatever where it's just
Yeah.
like, oh shit, I've never seen that before. Because you go down like to the regular thing and as you said, it's like, oh, I could just fucking buy this in Akihabara for like a third of the price. Right?
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
like, what's the point?
And the thing is, especially being on Trash Taste, I've realized how limited my wardrobe is.
Oh, yeah.
Like cycling through all the t-shirts I have because most of the time, every time I go to an anime convention, I buy like 2 or 3 t-shirts from the artist alley. So
Right.
just because I haven't gone to the any conventions this year,
Shit, I'm out.
I haven't been able to recycle any of my new clothes or anything like that.
I saw a comment that was like, "Oh my god, Connor's wearing the same shirt that he wore in episode like 2, and it's like episode 19." I'm like, "How many fucking shirts do you own? Do you expect me to throw them away when I'm done?"
I still haven't worn the same shirt yet. Because
What?
now that it's getting colder, I can finally bust out my long sleeves. I'm like, thank God. I was about to run out of like my long short sleeve t-shirts.
I wore one shirt like a lot recently, and I got a fucking comment that was like, "Why are you always wearing that shirt?" And I'm like, "You never heard of a fucking laundry machine, like washing machine? Like what the fuck? What do you mean? Like why am I always wearing the same shirt?
It's like, what? Do you wear a shirt once
Do
and
you,
you throw
do
it
you
away?
not wash your shirts? I'm confused. Why is this weird? I don't understand."
Yeah, but I mean, like that's all they see,
true,
right?
true,
like
true.
a week span on Trash Taste is might as well just be a day to them.
Yeah, it's made me self-conscious about just how many clothes I have in my wardrobe,
Yeah.
and how many shirts I can get away with without recycling the same thing too many times that people can notice.
Yeah,
But
right. I mean,
even-
especially with you because you very rarely like actually make a physical appearance in your videos, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
So
Normally,
you don't have to care
normally I
about
don't
it.
care about this
Yeah,
shit.
right?
Normally, I'm just a fucking disembodied voice.
I mean, who knows? Like, Garnt might be butt naked when he's fucking filming the audio for it. You never know. I like to hope so.
yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, back to conventions.
Yes, is the answer, by the way. Back to conventions. All right. I mean, fuck. What should we talk about? Questions? Funny stories.
I mean, like, just, I guess, memorable stories. It doesn't necessarily have to be
Yeah, true,
funny,
true,
but
true.
just, like, some memorable stories. If you
I-
have
We
any.
do like a convention survival guide.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we can
Yeah,
do
sure,
that.
sure, sure.
And I'm sure we can have stories that like.
I don't know. I
off
feel
the bat.
like, you know, here's the real privilege, lads. I've only gone to like one convention, like not as like a guest or like before I was a YouTuber, essentially.
Same.
Yeah.
So I feel like my experience of cons is like vastly different
Yeah.
from other people's. Like because like I feel like as an attendee, AX is like I don't.
Here,
I don't get it.
Here he goes.
Because, okay, when you hear the lines are like 5 hours to get in.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's be honest, we can apply for the badge that just lets us like walk right in.
Yeah.
All right, we can just walk right in.
We can just jump right into it.
Yeah, we can jump
Jump
right into the pit.
I'm not going to lie. If you told me I had to line up 5 hours to get an AX, I'd be like, I'm going home.
Yeah.
I'm going home.
What I don't understand about some people at AX is the people who are willingly waiting 3 hours to get to a panel.
Oh, fuck
or
that.
Or like a premiere or something like that. And I'm just thinking, I like anime. But that shit's going to be out on Crunchyroll in like a month. Like, I can wait a month. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah.
Like, I don't need to be at the premiere unless it's like, I get a pass or something.
What was it, the My Hero Academia movie last year or the year before had like a 4-hour line or something?
Yeah.
Something ridiculous like that. I'm like, guys, it's gonna be out on Crunchyroll in like 2 weeks.
The only reason I watched the premiere movie was because someone from G Kids or and Trigger got me in. And I was like, I'm not queuing 4 hours to get in. Are you kidding me? No way.
Yeah,
I don't care. Like, it could be like the second coming of Christ, and I'm like, 5 hour line? No. Get out of here, man.
Do you know how many Chick-fil-A's I can get in that time?
You know how many beers I can drink in 5 hours? Like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
I can have a good time in 5 hours.
You could just go down to the fucking bar or pub, which is what I spend most of my time doing now at conventions.
Right.
Just like talking to different people and catching up with different people, because that to me is the real convention experience. There's the convention itself, but after I'd say about 2 conventions, I was like, I'd just rather just talk to people and just talk to other anime fans rather than going to the actual convention itself.
Do you ever try and get people into stuff with you if they don't have like the badge?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah. I love like seeing like, all right, bullshit. All right, okay. Yeah, no, he's with me. Yeah, he's part of the. He's just got his badge. Yeah. Like
VIP access. Come on. You're with me.
You want to like? You really got.
It's like my friend. What's his name again? What's his name? John. Yeah, John.
Sometimes you have like 4 friends and you're like, fuck, here we go. I got to try and bullshit all of this. All right. Yeah, no, they're all part of the Japanese.
Security guard. Security guard.
You gotta like finger some bullshit on the thing and then like
I have 4 managers.
You gotta hope, like, because the problem is with some conventions, like, I guess their problem is not my problem. Good thing for me, they have so many volunteers. The volunteers don't know shit. So you can just bullshit to them, like. Yeah, no, they're with me. That's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
Get around.
If anything, at Anime Expo, I've found that there's always at least one volunteer who knows who I am.
Yeah, they'll let you in. They'll
just let me in. They're like, oh, Anime Man, fuck off. Yeah, come in, bro. Come in. Oh, yeah, the 5 other people behind you. Yeah, come in. Fuck it. You're probably friends with them, right?
Yeah, the last to take a picture with you while you're like smuggling your friend. It's like, I feel bad,
But I think one thing to like nail down is the difference between Anime Expo and basically every other convention.
Yeah, Anime Expo is a different thing.
I feel like Anime Expo exists in its own bubble, and I think like everyone should experience Anime Expo like once, because it's kind of like, it's not even a convention at this point. It's kind of like it's kind of like a convention and a business expo all at once. You know what I mean? So you kind of get a little bit of everything and a little bit of nothing as well, because if you don't plan yourself correctly, then you just end up experiencing lines in Anime Expo.
It's a clusterfuck in every sense of the word.
I spoke to like some people who are like, is AX good? I'm planning to go alone. I'm like, do not go to AX alone. That is like,
define good.
I'm like, you could probably go to a local con alone and probably make some mates. But like in AX, like everyone already has their group with them. Yeah. So it's like,
you don't have enough time to hang out with the group that you have already.
Right.
Let alone hanging out with like randomers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. I just had like so many flashbacks of hanging out with random people that went terribly wrong. Because, okay, you've all been there, right? Everyone goes to a convention, right?
Yeah.
You know, you've got to decide, I really want to go to this convention, but fuck, hotel rooms are expensive.
Right.
So it's like, how many people can I fit in this hotel room to reduce it to a point where I'm comfortable, right? Like, and I think we said this on one podcast where, like, if you're in charge of the booking, you get dibs on the bed, right? So that's why I always used to be in charge of the booking. So I'm like, I'm getting the bed, and I'm getting the best bed, and I'm getting the key.
All you guys are getting the 4.
Because oh my god, if the hotel doesn't ask you how many keys you want, it's like, there's 2 keys between 6 of you, and it's like, how do we
distribute?
How do we decide who gets a key?
Yeah,
like
the person with the key has the power. Right?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like, because you can come and go as you want. Because there's nothing worse than just sitting there with all your bags, being like calling up your mate, and not fucking picking up, and you're like, I want to go back to the hotel room. Answer me, you cunt.
Like mobile service in a convention is fucking
my god,
awful.
It's non-existent.
It's non-existent. You just basically gotta you basically gotta pretend you're back in like the fucking 18th century. You're like, how do I contact Joey? Especially when you're in America, we don't have American phones either. And like, I have a contract to my British phone that gives me American service, which
Yeah.
is usable
I
in
just buy-
most
I
places.
just buy another SIM.
In most places, but in like a convention, you are getting like zero
Yeah.
fucking service.
Yeah,
You're-
it's like a fucking Greek marathon, right? You have to like ask someone to like, can you run to the other side of the convention and tell Joey that I'm here? It's like, all right, I'll see you soon.
Have you ever stayed in a room with people who you're like, fuck, I regret staying in a room with them?
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yes.
I'm not gonna name names.
You can't name your name? All right, fine.
I can't name my names.
Yeah.
But I mean, you stayed with some Discord people, right?
Yeah, I stayed with a bunch
That-
of people on Discord. and that was
And that always
it was
goes
a
well.
fucking nightmare.
That sounds like a
It was
nightmare.
fucking, because I was like the pseudo leader of the group.
Right.
And there was just so many fucking problems. And this is also when I just started YouTube, and I hadn't formally met. I'd met Sydney.
Yeah.
Didn't get to see you, but we were gonna hang out. We already planned to, and I hadn't met you yet, had
Right. I don't think so.
I? So this was kind of like, I don't know. I was like gonna make mates, with you. I was planning to hang out with you guys for the majority of it.
Oh, was this the first AX?
This is the first AX I went
You spent
to.
most of your time with us.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So I had told the people I was staying with, like, hey, this is like straight up just like a room thing. Like, I'm
Yeah.
going to be hanging out with other people, like, for like 99% of this. Told them
Yeah.
that many times. I think like one of them like didn't quite get the memo, and he was like really hoping that I would introduce him to like everyone and be
Right,
like,
right.
yo, here's my best mate. He's hey. And the problem is he was a fucking creep. So
Right.
like I didn't really want to hang out with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, at first he was a little strange, he was an American and he was like a military dude. And in my experience, military dudes are like 50-50 on whether they're like totally chill or just fucking psychotic.
Right.
I actually totally agree. I've
I-
met so many military dudes, and there is no in between.
There's no in between.
Either
Like,
they're a fucking psycho, or they're the most chillest dudes you can ever
everywhere,
imagine.
everywhere I've met, it's always like that. It's like they're like no chill.
Yeah.
So he's like kind of nice, he's whatever. He's just a little weird. And then like one time I remember I met you at a party, and then like he was texting me the whole time, and I think I mentioned where I was. And
Yeah.
as we're leaving this party, do you remember this? Like,
Yeah, I remember this.
We go outside and he's waiting there at like 1 a.m. He's like, hey Connor, how you doing, man? Can I join? And we're like getting an Uber, and I'm like, no man, we're getting an Uber somewhere else. I'm really sorry, man. Because like it's like, how do you introduce? It's like kind of creepy because
Yeah.
everyone's already seen that he's waiting outside, and it's really creepy. And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's the
how do I-
over enthusiasm, right?
It's because the thing about anime conventions that's so difficult for a lot of people to like wrap their heads around is just like what is socially acceptable.
Cause
You know what I mean?
Like I
Social rules are thrown out the window at a convention.
when you don't know someone, I think it's like a social rule where you shouldn't be bringing your friends in, like,
Yeah.
unless you have like a reason to.
Yeah.
But if you don't like, okay, because if you bring someone into a friend group and
Yeah.
that guy's an asshole or a
Yeah.
creep, that's
That's
on me.
on you.
That's on
That's
me.
on you.
I
Yeah,
brought
yeah.
him in.
Yeah.
And I didn't know him, so, and I got kind of signs that he was a bit creep.
yeah.
And so I didn't want to bring him in because I was like, if I bring him to this party and he starts like fucking chatting up Gigak all night, like, hey man, I love your videos. Can we take a pic? Can I smell your penis? Like, you know what I mean? It's like kind of looks terrible on me. So I was like, nah.
And the
I'm
party was at my house or
your
our-
Airbnb,
yeah, our
and there was like only
Airbnb
like
as
10
well.
of us, so it's
Yeah.
really intimate. So I told him, I was like, listen man, like I'm really sorry dude, but like I don't really know like Gaunt or like anyone in this group
Yeah.
pretty well. Like I would invite you, I just don't feel like
Yeah.
comfortable doing it. I explained to him and he was so pissed off. And
He was pissed off.
he was so pissed off. So then I came back at like 5 a.m. to my shitty hotel in like it's the like suburbs of LA, and
Right.
like it was
It was like near Koreatown, wasn't it?
no, it was further away. It was like even like
Oh,
further
yikes.
out. It was really far out, and it
Right.
was really sketchy. It was like
Yeah.
what was it called? It wasn't even like a Holiday Inn. It was one of the more budget chains.
like
This-
a motel.
it was bad. It was really bad.
Yikes.
And at this hotel, for some reason, at midnight, all the cards reset. So if you came back after midnight, you'd go to the front desk, but the front desk wasn't open.
All right.
So if you
Right.
came back after midnight, you'd hope someone else is already in the room. Or just wait out your door till 6 a.m. till someone comes. Yeah, it's stupid. So he was in the room, and he'd been like drinking alone in his room. And I felt really bad. But
Right.
so I'm like, hey man, let me in, whatever, it's like 5 a.m. I'm like, dude, I really want to fucking sleep. So he opens the door and comes out, blocking the door so I couldn't get in.
Right.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck, man? Like, let me in. I want to sleep. It's 5 a.m. And he's like, absolutely hammered. He's like, listen, Connor, I thought you were cool, man. Why didn't you let me in the party? I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry, but like not now, man. It's 5 a.m. Let me
Yeah,
sleep.
yeah,
We can
yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah,
We can
yeah.
talk about it in the morning. dude, please let me sleep. And then whatever. So we slept, whatever. He finally let me in, but I thought it was weird that because I was ignoring him. I'm like trying to open the door, and he's blocking me, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Let me in. It's 5 a.m. I paid for this room. Let me sleep. And like near the end, one of the other people's in my room who was like a lot smaller, and like I guess he thought they were cute, and then they called me up and he's like, hey, he just tried to pay me to suck his dick, and I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I'm like, what is happening in this hotel room?
What? Yikes.
And then I was like, I'm so fucking glad I didn't introduce you to any of my friends if you're going around asking people to suck your dick for money. Are you kidding me? So, needless to say, I went to the hotel room and just explained to him, like, hey, what the fuck, man? Don't do that, you asshole. Like, this is my friend. Don't make them uncomfortable. And then he didn't do anything. And he stayed somewhere else for like the last night. Because I was like, dude, don't stay in this room with them. And so I've never stayed with any random people on Discord that I've never met before, ever again.
I've heard so many horror stories from Discord. I don't know what it is about Discord. And I'm going to call it like the Discord hotel room.
Yeah.
Those never ever go right. Like because even like the best you can do is have like a little bit of drama, but there's never zero drama. Nobody ever comes out there with just like, everyone was just chill. We had the most chillest time. Everyone was understanding everything.
What is it that everything that's playing on Discord just ends up horrible? What is it about
It's
that?
because you can't like really know who's weird on Discord. Like the problem is that you don't really know how weird people are until you meet them.
Yeah, exactly.
You also
it's doubly true on Discord as well, where you're here for this server, which is like solely where you talk about this one, common interest or whatever, and you rarely talk about your own personality.
I just don't understand the mentality though of like looking at a Discord group and being like, okay, there's 3 other people in here. Never seen their faces.
I didn't care because
never met them before. I'm gonna stay in a room with them overnight. It's like,
what? I was broke, Joey. What do you want from me?
like what? Like at least like hang out with them
I
outside.
I understand to all the convention goers out there who have done the same thing as me because you're broke as fuck. Like you got to do what you got to do, and plus I knew I could take care of myself. Like I know I'm fine. Like I didn't worry, but when I hear like 18-year-old girls that do it, and I'm like, whoa, with dudes.
I'm like, that's just calling for a disaster.
I mean, like it's a recipe for disaster, right? Because I've only gone to conventions after I have had after I had a full-time job. Right, so even if it wasn't like a great paying job, at least I could just afford my own hotel room and stuff like that. Or like just a really cheap motel room. Right, you know what I mean? But if I had gone before I was like, say 21, 22, when I was just a broke uni student, or just God forbid, like before even uni, I can imagine so many horrible situations that could have arisen out of that. Which kind of like there's no real way to protect yourself around that, especially if you're just rooming with random people on Discord, which is such a coin flip, you know.
And I would argue, like, is the anime con really that worth it?
Honestly, you know what? All that weird shit that happened aside, that I don't think I told you guys that ever, but I mean, all of that weird shit aside that I had to deal with, I'll fucking do it again. Easy.
Yeah, but you fucking do anything for content.
No, I mean, that was fun. I mean, like the convention.
I mean, the convention was fun.
That was a nuisance, but I mean, it's nice exercise in knowing that I can tell someone to fuck off. You know, I mean, I don't know what. I mean, it is what it is. I knew that when I did that, there was a chance that it could go horribly wrong, and it did go horribly wrong, and I learned my lesson, and I'm not doing that again.
But you said you would if you had the chance.
No, I mean, I understand if, when you're like 18, you got like $200 max to your name.
Right.
The fucking ticket is $50. You got to get that hotel room down to $100 somehow. It doesn't matter how many people got to go in that room.
You got to divide the room with the amount of bodies that will fit in it. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you need to sleep on the floor, you sleep on the floor. People who sleep on the bed, they pay a premium.
You make it sound like a fucking human trafficking.
It is a human. Have you ever been to a fucking convention room, Joey? Jesus Christ! Like a fucking bomb could go off in there, and it would be less messy than it is with just like the amount of like if you got a cosplayer in there, say goodbye to floor space. Goodbye to fucking floor space.
For some reason, they are allergic to closing their fucking suitcase. It has to be wide open the whole fucking time. Can't close it. Okay, fine. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, It's whatever. You should try it sometime. Hang
No,
out with
thank you. I can afford my own hotel room. I'm good, dude.
For the thrills, dude. Fucking roll that dice, dude. Just go with it, dude. Like, who knows what stories you'll get.
Gotta get your thrill somehow, right?
Okay, I don't know. I know this sounds like super, I guess it sounds weird or dangerous to some people. I love just meeting new people in that kind of way.
I mean, look, I don't mind meeting new people either, but
I don't mind meeting a new person for the first time in my hotel room.
I don't want to pull a gotcha roll where I might end up, sleeping with a fucking murderer,
I don't mind that. I'll take that on, You might get the fucking coolest friend for life by doing that. You know
There's
what I mean?
other ways to meet cool friends for life, man. Like,
but you get that fucking story of we met in an anime convention.
That's what I'm
right?
saying. You'll do anything for content.
Dude, I love
Spoken like a true YouTuber.
I don't even think of it as content. I just love like the idea of like making a friend through such a weird and unconventional way. Like I feel like it makes such a good friendship. I don't know.
I mean, but that's another coin flip, though.
I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle of both of you here, because like I do like meeting new people and everything like that, and I used to be that guy who was just like up for anything and be like,
same.
I'll go meet you down at like a dark alleyway, whatever. But like I've had like enough bad experiences to be like, you know what, maybe I'll do like just a little bit of a background check before I do some research before I jump right into it, you know.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I've met so many people on Discord who've turned out to be really sketchy.
Yeah.
And you just gotta. There's a lot of dudes on Discord who like underage girls, and you just gotta call that shit out when you see any signs of it, man.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of, especially in anime conventions, a lot of people, especially obviously like anime fans and weebs and everything, they don't have the confidence to confront people when they see some shit happening. So I feel like with a lot of convention stories that I've heard, it's mostly boiled down to people just didn't know how to handle the situation, right? Because they've never seen it happen in front of them. And so the first time you experience it, you kind of just freeze up to be like, what, is this happening now? Is this happening now? You know what I mean? Right. And no matter what you tell yourself you're going to do at that moment, you're totally unprepared for that moment.
True.
So I would say like the best advice I could give is if you see anything bad happening, like don't let that shit lie. Call it out.
Also, especially if they're your friends. Like I know a lot of people who are like, it's hard to like, bollock your friend and be like, dude, what the fuck? But you gotta call that shit out. Yeah, it's like if you let it slide, they'll just keep doing it.
A true friend will bollock.
We got to stamp this shit out of our community because we saw what happened to the Smash community, right? And I don't know what's happened behind the scene of the anime community.
I mean, I don't even want to imagine.
I don't want to imagine it because I wasn't part of the community when some of the worst stories that I've heard happen behind the scenes.
I mean, with like the Seattle YouTuber that I used to do stuff with, and I've had people on Discord who I considered friends who later on found out that they like did some fucking horrible stuff. And like, honestly, there were like, there were signs, and I just ignored it because I was like, oh, well, I mean, I think that, they're just quirky. They're not going to hurt anyone. But like, you gotta call that shit out when you see it. Unfortunately, so if your friend, even if it's your friend, please call them out.
Especially if it's a friend only through the internet, because we all met through the internet, right? But I mean, we've also met in real life, and we've hung out so many times before. I really knew your guys' real personality and everything like that, right? Yeah. So if it's some guy or some girl who you've met through the internet, especially through Discord or something, and you've only talked to them through the internet, meeting friends, making friends on the internet is completely fine. But understand that that's totally different from being a friend IRL. And until you've hung out IRL a few times, you really can't have a true grasp of their personality and what they might be like.
And that's why it's always such a gamble, right? Like when you meet that person on Discord, and then you be like, all right, let's go to a convention together. Yeah. And you're hanging out with a completely different person.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, you weren't like this when we were chatting on Discord. Like, what the fuck? Like, and I've had a lot of experiences like that where I would be talking to someone online, and then I'd be like, oh, you're going to AX? Oh, I'm going to AX as well. Let's meet up and hang out. And then I talk to them. I'm like, wow.
You aren't what I expected at all.
Yeah, you are not the same person I texted 2 days ago.
Man, fuck.
For better or worse, right? Sometimes they're way cooler in real life. Sometimes they're just like, oof, in real life.
And there's so many social norms that you, like... I don't know, like
thought of all the dumb shit that's happened.
Common sense just doesn't seem to like make sense. Like common sense just isn't common in anime conventions, right? Yeah. Especially when it comes to like meeting people and stuff. Because you talked about the introducing the one friend to like your friend group or something. Yeah. But what happens if you're going to this party? Right, and you can be like, okay, you can bring like this one friend that you might kind of want to introduce, but they're with a group of like 5-6 people, and they're like, can you like get all these people in as well.
Oh, yeah.
And you're
that's
like,
hard.
What is it about these people who are like, oh, +1? Oh, so +1 group of friends, right? Like, that's what it means? Yeah. All right, cool. I got like 7 people coming.
It's hard because obviously you don't want to be like, you only one person can come in, but
Yeah.
you also got to have the balls to just suddenly be like, all right, mates, I've got this sick invitation from a guy. I'm going to go to that. I hope you all understand.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I would be like. I'd be like, hey, man, I got an opportunity that I don't really come across often.
Yeah.
Can I take it? Please, don't be mad at me.
Yeah.
I think it's just understanding that it's a convention. People, you're not always going to hang out with the same friend group all the time.
Right.
So I feel like if you have like some other people you want to meet, then I feel like you just let them go. Don't feel betrayed by your friend hanging out with other people or whatever. This video is sponsored by ExpressVPN.
You can use ExpressVPN to unlock shows and movies that are only available in other countries.
For example, I used ExpressVPN the other day because Netflix Japan doesn't have any of the Harry Potter movies. So,
okay.
Yeah, weirdly enough. And I wanted to watch some Harry Potter. So, I flicked on ExpressVPN, set it to the UK, as you do, and boom, all of the Harry Potter movies.
Netflix Japan doesn't have English subtitles for anime sometimes, so I have to go, actually, no joke, to VPN it to be in the UK so I can watch the anime that's in Japan with the English subtitles. Thank you, Netflix.
I don't have that problem, but thank you, Netflix.
Fuck you, Joe.
I've personally used ExpressVPN to watch some BBC shows on like BBC iPlayer and stuff you can only get in the UK as well.
ExpressVPN lets you change your online location so you can control where you want the sites to think you're located.
Open the app, select a location, tap one button to connect, and refresh the page to access thousands of new shows and movies.
You can also choose from almost 100 different countries, and this works with any streaming service: Hulu, BBC iPlayer, YouTube, you name it.
Yeah, you can watch Studio Ghibli films on UK Netflix, which I'm definitely not going to do because I hate Studio Ghibli.
You can stream in HD, no problem, no buffering and no lag. I can legit confess to that. I've used it a lot, and yeah, it's great.
It's also compatible with all your devices: phones, laptops, media consoles, smart TVs, and more.
Not only does it let you change your location, but encrypts all your data as well and lets you surf the web anonymously.
I actually watch hentai. Yeah, but I'm not sure. A lot of them ban it in Japan, I'm just saying. Go to expressvpn.com/trashtaste to get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free, gentlemen.
That's expressvpn.com/trashtaste. Links down in the description below.
Thank you so much, ExpressVPN. Back to the video. Speaking of inappropriate, like the most inappropriate thing happened to me at a UK convention, surprisingly.
Oh, okay.
I think I've told this story like a million times, but fuck it, we'll say it here again. It's the one where like, I should tell the story as it happened in order.
Okay.
Naturally. So I'm just finished with a panel, right? Just, killed it. Answered all these questions like a boss.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that phrase in a while.
Wow. Was this 2004?
Yeah, right. So, and then when you're done with the panel, I'm like, all right, I'll take pictures outside, at the line.
Yeah.
So I'm taking pictures, and the first one comes up, first girl. And she's like 14, 13. And I'm taking a picture. She's like smiling, like, hey, by the way, can I grab your ass? And I'm like,
oh, this one.
yeah. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? Do you know what you just said, little girl? And she was like, and I was like, no, I think, no, why would you ask that? Why would you ask that? And I'm like, okay, whatever. So, and then, next picture, fine. Next picture, fine. And as I'm taking this next picture, I feel this like grip, like tightening on my ass. That like, and it's getting
space.
this grip gets like fucking ironclad on my ass. And I'm like turning around, I'm like, hey, what the fuck? And I was in awe because I turn around and she's just like this. And I'm like, what are you doing in my head? I'm like, because I'm like, how the fuck do I react to this? I didn't like swat her away like a fly.
Yeah.
Like,
Be gone.
and so I was like, what the? So she grabbed it, and then when I turned around, she fucking ran off. I was like, what the fuck? And I'm looking at the guy who's helping me do my panel. I'm like, yo, what the fuck was that? And he's like, dude, what the fuck? And he went to go after her, to tell her off, but she went.
How many years ago was this?
It's like 3 or 4.
Is this at MCM?
No, this is like a really small London one, like tiny one.
Because like a similar thing happened to me at like one of the early MCMs, right?
Right.
And I was having a meetup, and it was like one of my very first meetups, and it was just after I started dating Sid, so it was like Sydney's first UK anime convention as well. Right. And so I was having this meetup, and we were taking pictures and everything, and then this girl comes to take a picture. And you can immediately tell that she was not respecting like personal boundaries. She was very, very touchy-feely.
The worst.
Yeah. And Sydney's like razor eyes lasered in on it immediately, right? Immediately. I could feel like the death glare on this girl without having to look at Sydney, right?
Like in the middle of the fucking like Harry Potter Voldemort like wand battle. Like
So I know that Sydney's watching everything, and she's like being really touchy-feely. And I'm just like I'm trying to just be like, okay, you know, I have my personal boundaries. I'll take a picture and everything. And so we go in for the picture, and she like goes on for like a full-on hug.
Oh,
like it's like I'm just there being like the hey, and she just grabs me like that, and just hugs me, and then I didn't need to see what Sydney's face was, but I could feel it. Right? I could feel it. And then afterwards, I'm like, oh yeah, thank you for coming to my meetup. And she goes in for a fucking kiss. And I had to like turn my cheek. I turned my cheek in time, but she goes for my mouth, and then I turn it.
She went for your mouth.
And she hits my cheek. And then I just hear Sydney, like I've never heard Sydney make this noise ever again, but she fucking hissed.
she fucking snake.
She's like,
what does that do?
I don't know. And then same as your girl, she just fucking runs off before I could say anything, and I'm just like, what just happened? What am I supposed to do in this situation?
You know what the worst part was? When I got home that day, I go on fucking Twitter, and she replied to my tweet being like, "Hi, I'm the girl who grabbed your ass. It felt good." And I was like, first of all.
And then you were like, block.
First of all, thank you. Second of all, what the fuck? What the fuck? And I was like, you know, I would probably like be like, yo, that was super fucking inappropriate. Like, why did you do that? And she was like, oh, I didn't realize. I'm like,
I didn't realize.
What the fuck? You didn't realize?
Which family? What kind of family were you raised in? Where it's like, oh yes, hello. So
what are they doing? Like fucking measuring your firmness every fucking day? Why would you do that shit?
What year was this?
Oh shit, this must have been like 2016, 17.
That's the thing, right? It's like I feel like because I have a similar story that happened around that time.
You do? What the fuck?
Yeah,
because my mom was in about 2000.
We all fucking survived something here. God damn.
Mine was around like 2017. It was at AX, and I had just like started going out with Aki, but this is before we went public. So this is like the convention that I met Aki in, and this was like 2 days, like literally 2 days after we decided like, oh yeah, let's start going out.
Cute.
Yeah.
And we were doing a signing together. This fucking girl comes up to me, and she's dressed in like, I think it was like Madoka Magica or something, but she had like a giant wand, right? Like a massive like staff. And she puts it down, and she's like, "Hi, Joey." And I'm like, oh no, it's one of these kinds of girls. All right. Hey, what's up? And she's like, "Can you sign the stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I start signing it. And then she's like, "Also, here's a question, but can I be your Anime Expo waifu?" And I just kind of stopped and
how to trigger flight or flight in me. Jesus Christ.
And the moment she said that, I just kind of stopped and just looked up. I was like, could you say that again, please? Because in my head, I'm starting panicking. And same with Sydney, right? I could feel the fucking glare of Aki right on my fucking neck. Like, I didn't even have to look over. I'm like, I know you're staring at me. And of course, right, I have the pressure from here and the pressure right in front of me, right? There's two women staring at me for totally different reasons.
Yeah.
And I just fucking panicked, right? I couldn't, like, because at that point I was like, I couldn't say, like, yeah, sure, jokingly, because my woman is fucking glaring at me.
There's no right answer in that situation.
But I also couldn't say no, right? Because I don't want to hurt her feelings. And she lined up, you know, all this time to, like, meet me. Yeah. And so I just fucking panicked and I said, I don't know. I got ranks.
Oh my God, Joey. You didn't have to murder her like that.
It's like, I got ranks. And then she replied back being like, then can I come to the top of the ranking? And then I said,
bro, you got to learn to give up, man.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know, man. Like, it takes time. I was just bullshitting the entire time. And the moment, and she's like, oh, okay, no worries. Again, tried to go in for a kiss, and I just fucking, like, dodged that shit. So she only got me on the cheek, and then she walked off. And then Aki, under her breath, was like, what did you mean by ranks? I'm sorry. Like, I panicked. What are you supposed to say in that situation?
There is no right answer. But
there is no right answer, but I definitely said the most incorrect
answer. That was definitely the wrong answer.
I felt so bad after
Just politely decline them, be like, oh, thank you, but no.
I know, but like I was at that stage where like I really couldn't say no. Like it was at that point where I didn't know any better, right? That was like probably like my second or third signing session ever.
Yeah,
right?
you mean like the story I told with Sydney where you don't know how to react in this situation.
You don't know how to react, and because you don't want to like make them upset, right? Because they lined up all this time. And you're like, oh, you fucking lined up for me. Like I'm not anything special. So like that was at the point as well where like any absurd thing that they would request, I would just fucking do it just to make them happy. So I remember like at this like Canada convention, the first dude that came up to me was like, "Can you sign my ass?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And like I thought it was like just his pants, right?
Yeah.
This guy fully fucking dacks like his pants off. Shows his
In the middle of the convention fucking hall?
First dude in the line plants his bare ass on the table and was like, "Sign here."
Did you fucking wipe down this table afterwards? Oh my god!
I need some mad sanitation.
I mean, there's a bottle of hand sanitizer right at any sign anything. I just fucking emptied that shit out. Sanitized.
That's so disgusting.
I know.
I think I would vomit on his ass.
Yeah. So like I signed it making sure not to actually touch his ass like with my hand, and I did it. I was like,
I need one of those like garbage picking up things and just like fucking
it's just the tongs.
yeah, the tongs like from far away. It's like a radioactive suit on.
But that again, like that was the point where
what is wrong with anime fans?
I don't
what
know.
The fuck?
Yeah. I was like, I didn't know any. And the like same convention as the guy who planted his ass. There was another girl who came up, and she looked really
Jesus,
fucking.
What convention was this?
Oh, this. I think this is Otakuthon in Montreal, and this girl like came up, looked and sounded really fucking normal, right? Until she said, "Can you sign my arm?" And she had like drawn out like a box for me to sign on the arm. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. I'm like, I have a piece of paper, and she's like, no, I want you to sign my arm. So I was like, all right. And I had a lot of people to go through, right? So I just fucking signed it quickly. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, do you want like a piece of paper for me to sign it on? And she's like, oh no, it's okay. I'm getting this tattooed. And I was like, no. I did a really shitty job as well. It was like the most like fucking messed up signature I've ever did. I'm like, no, please don't do that. I'm begging you. I actually said like, I'm begging you, don't fucking do that. And she's like, okay, I'll think about it. I'm like, no, don't think about it. Just fucking, I don't know.
Just don't do it.
I don't know what it like, but that's the thing, right? It's like, I don't know if it's because of my lack of experience of being in situations like that, or just the fact that conventions have gotten so much more calm in the last like 5 years, or it's a combination of both. Because you don't hear that kind of shit like last year, right?
I mean, I feel like things are way more regulated now than it used to be. Because I remember first time going to conventions, some of my first signings, it was kind of like anything goes. You know what I mean? And like last year, they had like a ticketing system, or maybe it was the year before that, where they had like a proper ticketing system. Because I remember I'd be booked out to do signings for like an hour, and then it would end up going for like 2 hours and a half.
Yeah.
And there was nothing that like regulated what was okay and what wasn't okay.
I guess that's like the benefit of the big conventions, right? Is that because there are so many people and they probably know how popular you are. That they're like, if your signing session is 1 hour, then it's fucking 1 hour.
Yeah.
And we're cutting off the line.
And I think people, it's gotten more in people's ideas or in people's heads now that just because you're at an anime convention, social norms still do exist. Because I remember in the before time, and I can't imagine what it was like even before I started going to conventions, but it seemed like going to an anime convention, just like all rules fell out the window. You could get away with anything.
I mean, I watched footage of like Anime Expo at like fucking 2005, right? And like, that was during like the whole like glomp and like yaoi yaoi pad thing. And I'm just like, I can't imagine fucking being there and like staying sane. I'm like, I don't want to like walk through the convention hall with the fear that a random person is gonna jump dive at me because it's lol XD glomp.
It turns from like an anime convention to like a survival horror. It's like, who's gonna invade my personal space now?
I'm like pressing X to doubt on everyone. Right? It's like, who's next?
I feel like it probably came from a place of like, I mean, I assume that it was the one time of the year where they get to meet anime fans, right?
Right.
And like outside of that, you probably didn't get to see them, right? Like, But now, I mean, everyone's a fucking anime fan,
right? That's it. I think that's what it is.
It's so mainstream now.
It's all it is now is everyone just goes to a place to buy anime merch and get drunk together.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So it's like, I understand that back then probably was a little over the top because this is the only fucking chance you get to be a fucking weeb. Like every other day of the year, you can't be a weeb. Otherwise you get bullied.
Yeah, I feel like the golden period for me for anime conventions where it was like you could get away with things that were like fun, but I feel like the point where it started to get really, really regulated was around 2016 onwards-ish.
Yeah. Because I mean, as it should, because there was so much fucking sketchy shit happening in the back.
Yeah, there was a lot of sketchy shit.
I mean, that was around the time when the whole like cosplay isn't consent.
Yeah,
thing
which
came out, right?
definitely.
Which it's like, why would you even need to write that out?
That like is a failure on humanity. That was a rule.
Which we needed to implement this rule.
Yeah,
that's
it's like, oh yes, I need something written down on paper to know that being overly sexual towards cosplays is a bad thing.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like,
right.
Fucking.
But I remember like because I've been going to London MCM Expo for like a fair few years now.
Yeah.
And I remember when to explain London MCM Expo, it's like the biggest kind of
it's a pretty fucking terrible convention.
It's a convention in inverted commas because it's more like it is an expo.
It just sells you stuff and there's not really anything to do there if you're like a fan.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's kind of like you can buy stuff and pretty much all anyone does is just hang out with their friends.
Exactly.
Right.
So there's this grass bit in MC outside of the convention center, which everywhere where everyone used to hang out, and now it's closed off. But I feel like some of my best memories were when people were just doing like the most random shit on that grass.
Like, all the alcohol bottles were.
Yeah. Were you there that year where they did that Fight Club?
No. Okay. It is a Fight Club?
Yeah. So
I don't know why the mental imagery of a bunch of weebs beating each other up is hilarious.
It's fucking Naruto music blasting.
No, it was a fight. It was a Fight Club, but it was like a fight club. So it was like the equivalent of a mosh pit or something like that. But I remember there was like, there was obviously the usual, you got the fucking Jedis dueling it out. But I remember the funniest one I saw was there was these two anime fans, and one was like the scrawniest, shortest anime fan who was like vitamin D deficient. That stereotype.
Like the clearly sick dude, right?
Yeah.
Skeletal.
Skeletal. And then on the other side was the fucking biggest he wasn't like obese, but let's say he was a big lad. He was a big lad.
Hefty fella.
Yeah, and this was like the most uneven fight I had ever seen. Like, forget about weight classes here,
But they should like start punching each other.
So I guess they just try to like make each other fall over, right? So this scrawny dude fucking full on sprints into this guy, trying to like push him, and he just fucking bounces off him like he's in like he's playing Fall Guys or something, right? And then the guy just sits on him. And that was the end of the fight.
Were they all drunk?
Yes, everyone was drunk.
Oh, okay.
It just crushes the
Because
poor
the
kid.
convention ends at like 6, but that area is still full of people drinking.
Yeah.
Like it's just outside. Just
That
getting
sounds
drunk.
awesome. I would love to be there, just to be a spectator.
It's kind of fiesta. It's kind of crazy.
It's kind of fiesta now, but now it's like a lot more controlled of what you can get away with, which it's a bit of a shame because I liked that kind of thing.
There's literally like an off license in a Tesco within like 100 meters of it. So
that's not a good
people
idea.
are just buying drinks, and it's like it's a bit of a, and I think the hotel Hadex is literally a hotel right outside of it. And they're like, what are you doing? Why are you all fucking getting drunk?
Why is this big dude sitting on this scrawny kid?
Why is there a fight club
Why are
happening?
people cheering?
I think it was that Fight Club that made the convention actually cordon off the grass area. It was worth it. Anyone who was at that MCM convention knows that Fight Club was hilarious as fuck.
Yeah, that sounds fucking awesome.
Health and safety issues aside.
It is fun when you walk to an anime convention. You see something that clearly will get shut down within an hour. You're like, I'm just going to sit and watch this shit go down. This is going to be funny.
I see that shit even regularly at Anime Expo still to this day. Like outside of the West Wing, where all the cosplayers are.
Yeah.
I see some shit there where I'm just like, why? Where are the staff? Who's regulating this?
Can we talk about how fucking crazy it is, like meeting people who watch your videos? It's so fucking surreal. How fucking weird is that?
I never get used to it.
It's so
like,
fucking strange.
I'm like, now I have like a conditioned response that I could be like, okay, this is how I should respond to like fans.
Activating execution 101.
But that's why
Activate McDonald's smile.
But that's why getting recognized anywhere but conventions, you're so unprepared for it because you just never get used to that feeling.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, Man, I'm just a fucking dude who talks about anime online.
Man,
I mean, it's already surprising when people at conventions like come up to you and recognize you.
Yeah.
But what's weirder is where you're like nowhere near a fucking convention,
Sure.
and it's just like a random like guy or girl who's just sees you, like that fucking dude in Singapore.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
You want to tell that story?
Yeah, you can tell it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we were at a Singapore convention. I think it was Anime. What was it called? Anime Festival Asia or something like that.
AFA.
We were at AFA Singapore, and we were in this. We were outside the convention. We're like getting lunch or something. It was me, Sydney, and Joey, I believe.
And Alan, I think.
And Alan, yes. So there were 4 of us there, and we were just walking in just like this random shopping mall. And then we just hear this screech. This is like the loudest screech I've ever heard in my life.
It was like a banshee screech. Like you would have thought like someone came through with like a truck and was like running people over. It was that
exactly.
loud.
And it immediately triggered my fight or flight like instincts, right?
Everybody turned around, like, what the fuck?
What the fuck's going on? And all we see is this fucking kid bolting it towards Joey, right? And I'm like, time just fucking stopped at that moment. I'm like, am I about to witness my fucking friend die in front of my eyes? Is he about to get stabbed or something?
And he's like, the dude was like full on like Assassin's Creeding me, like just fucking like low as fuck like this, just like running towards me through this giant crowd. And as the crowd is partying, you can see this kid just coming straight. I'm like, oh, he's coming for me. I'm gonna die. Like because he's like Naruto running almost. I can't see his hands right, so I'm like, this guy's probably got a knife or something. Like he's about to stab me.
Yeah.
So so I'm just prepared to die. He stops like right here. He just screeches to a halt and he says, "I love you, Joey." Like, meanwhile, poop is falling out of my pants. Right?
Meanwhile, we're just like, oh, okay, Joey's not dead. Okay. Oh,
Fucking terrifying.
And he's like,
he was terrifying.
"Can you take a photo with me?" I'm like,
Yeah. Didn't like Felix say one time like Southeast Asian fans are like the craziest?
Yeah,
like,
they are.
In public, they just scream.
Absolutely.
Shout out to the Southeast Asian fans.
AFA was great. It's on like a whole different level from like any convention we've been to in America. Like I remember watching Joey walk from one panel to another. It was basically like watching Justin Bieber walk through like
Dude, that's got to be an ego boost though.
I mean, it felt pretty good. Not
Dude,
gonna lie.
I love it when you're just like chilling and then like someone in the line next to you's like, "Oh, you Joey?"
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah.
I think as well, like it might have been because like that Singapore AFA was a first for that convention for a lot of reasons, because I think I was like the first YouTuber that had ever been invited.
Yeah.
And also I was the first ever guest at that convention that didn't charge for signatures.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And like, because like, I remember when I was sitting there like waiting, the staff was like, "All right, so tell me how much do the signings cost?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, how much does it cost? Like $5, $10? How much is it? So that I can tell people in the line. I'm like, it's free. And like,
They're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? It's free?
yeah, he was like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean it's free?
They couldn't process
They
it.
couldn't process it. They was like, "What do you mean it's free?" I'm like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
fucking free." It's-
I've heard like some other guests get annoyed when YouTubers turn up and don't charge because
Yeah.
they're like, well, you're just devaluing, you're making us look like ripoffs. And I'm like, well, I mean, you just got like signing stuff.
yeah, I mean, it's just like,
Like if I'm selling something like a print or something that like that, you know,
yeah.
I brought
But
it
that's the
on,
thing,
yeah,
right? I was selling prints because I was
Right,
doing a
right,
collab
right,
with like
right.
Key Studios, right? So
Yeah.
it's like people can just fucking buy this.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like if they like, I shouldn't charge someone to sign something. They already paid the entrance fee to get in.
Right,
The
Yeah,
exactly.
There, right?
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And they're like already buying like the merch that I collabed
Yeah.
with, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, I'm not going to charge them any more.
Yeah,
than
when you
that.
see
Fuck
these like
that.
fucking like, it's like the guy who sneezed on set on Star Wars charged
Yeah.
$50 for a signature, and it's like, what do you mean?
I was Stormtrooper number
Yeah.
1,300.
It's like, who the fuck are you? I really disagree with them doing that, and they charge so much. I really hate it. Like I think
Yeah.
it's so
It's like,
conceited.
give them something physical, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
like-
exactly.
Like this should be like an item. that
My
is,
my
like,
signature should not be worth money.
No,
I don't
no.
know. It should be like a nice little memorabilia.
Yeah.
But I don't know anyone who.
I think it
fucking,
completely destroys the meaning of a signature, right? Like from a famous person, in my opinion.
I don't know. I just feel bad charging
Yeah,
people
me
for
too.
my
I feel like I'm ripping
signature.
someone off. I'm like the
know,
greatest fucking
like
heist. when
like
I've done it.
the worst I I would get away with is, charging. I haven't even like charged for prints or anything like that because I've never done prints, or like
pain to sort out.
Yeah, it's a pain to sort out, but at least give them something physical.
Right.
Is what I say.
Exactly.
If we need to do something like that.
Right. But again, like we're doing well enough for ourselves. Like I'm not that fucking desperate to be like I have 500 prints. They all need to go.
I guess just sometimes the conventions can't really like pay you much for your time, so it's like I get it that some people want to get some prints in there, get a little income going.
But like that's not really the reason I go to conventions.
No,
right?
True.
It's like,
True.
I just want to fucking meet my fans.
Yeah. Anyway, any conventions in Southeast Asia want to invite us?
Conventions in general, please.
Any conventions in general? We're
fucking
always
love conventions
open.
so much.
Yeah.
I miss it.
We miss it so much.
After this fucking drought of conventions, we really need to fucking go to some.
Crazy people and inappropriate people aside, like my god, I think there's like anything better than meeting someone who's just like nice and just is like, hey, I watch your videos, because it's so crazy because you don't really get to ever. I know YouTubers say this all the time. You don't get to see people who watch your videos.
No,
because when I see a video that gets like 300,000 views, I'm like, oh yeah, cool, cool. But then
whenever you see 300 people in your panel,
like that's crazy that 300 people in one room would want to meet me.
Yeah,
that like blows my mind. And then like most of them are so fucking sweet, so nice. And it's like, man, I can't help but just like, you want a hug? You want a hug?
It's also just feels so nice, especially when it's like a small convention as well, where it's like the ratio of like attendees to people who know you is like staggering.
And it's so hard to try to voice your gratitude without sounding like that typical corny YouTuber. But that's
I appreciate you guys so much.
You want a hug? Ask me. I'll give you one. Probably, even if you're sweaty, I'll give you a fat hug.
Yeah. I will give you a hug too.
I just pressured Gon into saying that. I mean, Gon has to do it now. Gon wasn't going to give you a hug until I said it first. Just wanted to make that clear.
I'm not going to give you a hug. I'm kidding.
They're not ranked enough for Joey's hug. Sorry.
Yeah, I have ranks.
Joey's ranked. Sorry.
But like, that's like the other thing as well. Like, I don't want to like dwell on the whole like cosplays consent thing, right? But like, I feel that
you can ask me for a hug. I don't give a
shit.
Shit.
But like, I feel that like now, like at least with me, my general rule of thumb is like, especially if it's of a female, right? Like, because I know like dudes don't give a shit if I hug them, right? Because it's like just a fucking.
Oh yeah, let me cup your dick.
Yeah. Let me hold your balls.
Don't do that. Please don't do that. That's a joke.
Your balls heavy? You'll tell you. Okay. But like, I feel that like because of the whole thing with especially recently, how like cons have become a little bit more sensitive. Like, at least my general rule of thumb is if you're a female or you're not like a dude, comes up to me and like wants to take a photo, I always ask like, is it alright if I put my hand on your shoulder? Or like, or like I wait for them to be like, can I hug you?
I do that, but like sometimes I forget, and then I'm like, "Fuck!" I just did it without asking.
Yeah,
like, am I a horrible person? Like, fuck. Are they gonna go online and say I fucking killed? Like,
it's only until the last AX where I like physically told myself I need to get into the habit of doing this.
Yeah, same here. Like before, I was just like trying to read the air.
Yeah,
but now I just straight up ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I used to just be like,
Jesus.
I used to just be like, okay, I kind of get the vibe that you're okay with it. Like, that's just risky.
Yeah, because a lot of them are just like, of course you can. Like, why is that even a question? I'm like, no, you don't understand. I have to ask.
Because it's weird, right? Because when we started off, I don't think any YouTuber ever thinks they're gonna get any kind of attention or any kind of success. So you kind of come into it with like the small person mentality, and sometimes you just got to realize that you can't get away with that anymore.
Right.
Unfortunately, even though you still see yourself as that same person who started off doing like YouTube videos in your mom's basement or whatever.
I still feel like that.
I still feel like that now.
Yeah.
But you got to.
The numbers don't lie. Right?
You got to adapt eventually.
It's sad. I mean, I feel like I have to like. In some aspects, it makes you like be a better person, right?
Yeah.
In general, like I'm not an asshole because I'll get called out for it, which is good. But then also, I feel like I have to make sure everything in my life is completely 100% like. No, there is no doubt in anyone's mind that I'm totally like in the clear.
Yeah.
Whereas most people, it's like, okay, 90%, 70%, I'm not an asshole. It's like, all right, that's enough, right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of and also like I feel as well when you meet fans, sometimes they're really nervous because obviously they don't know you, and I feel like they're more nervous to put their arm around you.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they're like waiting for you to take the lead.
Right.
Yeah,
which is, again, like it makes it harder because like I used to just be like, all right, I guess they seem like they want it, like, or where they stand for the photo. Because sometimes, they'll just literally just stand in position, touching you basically. Okay, they want to put their arm around.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and I think that's like another good reason why you like
should ask.
You guys
I need to get in the habit.
They also, some of them are like, oh yeah, of course, like they weren't expecting it.
I mean, I'm sure I'll come out of this pandemic being like,
I'm sure the pandemic will change a lot of the behavior about what's allowed and
A
everything
million
like that.
hover hand photos.
Although I do love the hover hand photos. There's something about it, man.
The best part is when they ask for a hover hand photo, and I'm just like, you get it, you get it.
And whenever I get someone ask me like, can you do a hover hand? I'm like, I can one up that. Let's do a hover hug. Where you're just like doing this, but you're not touching at all.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
I wonder, will everyone be required to wear a mask when they finally have
Probably
Probably.
for like the first 2 years.
I mean, that
yeah,
depends on when the conventions are going to open up.
Exactly.
True,
Like,
true.
I doubt that there will be any conventions open next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think. I don't think the world.
Didn't they hold one in like fucking Idaho or some shit?
Yeah, but I mean,
Like in the middle of the pandemic.
yeah, exactly. But you know, they got fucking slammed for that, right?
Yeah. Like, I don't think there'll be any big profile conventions happening till at least the second half of the year. That's like,
And the whole
calling.
e-conventions are like, get that out of here. Get that out. I don't want to do an e-convention. You kidding me? Let's say.
I mean, I did a couple of e-conventions this year.
Did you actually?
Yeah. I did one for Anime Con South Africa.
Oh, I think I saw that. Yeah.
I did like a pre-recorded interview for that.
Oh, sick.
And I'm like, I wanted to. The only reason why I wanted to do that was because when the pandemic is over, I really want to fucking go to South Africa.
sick.
So it's just connection building. So it's like,
Damn, Joey's just playing with Five Head here. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I can't get myself to like attend e-conventions because like attending e-conventions is like it's kind of like the equivalent of when you're like watching a food video or something and you're watching this like 3-star Michelin chef like produce this like gorgeous
I
looking
know what you're
food
gonna
say.
and then you're sitting there with like your combini meal. You're like, this is just as
this
satisfying.
is almost the same.
This is almost the same. You know what I mean?
No, I completely get
You
that.
like tear open the paper salt. Like, yes, I am gourmet.
My 3-star MSG.
Dude, do you hate it when you make a fucking great meal? You got a great, or maybe you ordered Uber Eats and you fucking edit all before like 4 minutes into the 1 hour movie you were gonna watch. You're like, fuck, I'm gonna put this plate away or it's gonna get dirty and like sing. I shouldn't. I fucking hate that.
I don't know how to pace myself with food.
I don't, dude. It's like the movies. My popcorn's eaten before we even.
That's why I don't even order the popcorn, right?
What do you mean? Why would you not do that?
I don't
You
order.
fucking
I don't
animal.
order popcorn
You animal.
Yeah.
It's so good here. Why would you not want it?
because it's fucking
I'm
popcorn.
fuming.
Popcorn's that thing that I never get myself, but whenever someone offers,
It's just corn with attitude, isn't it?
I'll take it.
Oh my god.
So, like, have you guys had any creepy experiences with people or
yeah.
fans at
Yeah,
conventions?
well, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course I am.
Because I'd say like this, the moment when I stopped, like where I had to like really pay attention to who I was hanging out with was because of this one convention I went to. I think it was like 4 years ago. I can't remember exactly how many years it's been, but it was like my first proper creepy stalker experience. So
Sounds like a YouTube title.
That's literally a storytime animation.
Yeah,
title.
yeah, exactly.
Why,
so
why are you wasting this for the podcast, man? Make a story. I'm joking.
I just make like a draw my life, right? But yeah, I was at this convention and there was like a communal area, and you know, at conventions, what I like doing at conventions is meeting random people, meeting fans, talking with people, and the thing is, I've met like a lot of my closest friends. I've met through conventions. Like our friend group in England, 90% of those people were people who I met at conventions who were fans of me. So that's why I had always tried to, like, you know, be as open as possible, no matter who it was. And I feel like this was the point when I realized, hey, maybe my reach is a little bigger than, you know, what I'm comfortable with, because I was with, you know, hanging out with just this random group of people. And it was me and Sydney, and we were having a great time. We were just chatting shit about anime and other shit in like the middle of this convention hall, and then it was like, you know, it was time to just disperse and go our own ways.
Right.
So me and Sydney start walking back to our hotel rooms, and everyone else goes their own ways. And then this one kid starts walking the same direction with us, right?
Oh god, is it the same guy from Akihabara? Is it
No, it's not the same guy. Yeah. Compared to the guy in Akihabara, the guy in Akihabara was like a fucking saint.
Yikes.
So this kid follows us. And I ask, and so I was trying to be polite to be like, oh, where are you staying? And he was like, oh, I'm staying in the same hotel as you guys. Now, keep in mind, you know, I talked with the kid, you know, quite a bit, you know, when we hang out in a group.
Right. So you thought it was plausible that you told him your hotel?
Yeah. And I was, you know, I wasn't wasted, but I was, you know, I had a few drinks in me, and I was feeling friendly. So I was like, whatever, just making casual chit chat. And he seemed normal enough. You know, it didn't seem like a creep or anything like that.
Right.
And so we go back. We go to our hotel, and then we get in the lift, and then he goes in the lift with us, and we're like, oh, what floor are you? Sorry. So we get in the lift, and I hit my floor, and I ask, oh, what floor are you? And he goes, oh, it's the same floor as you.
Oh no.
And not at this point, nothing clicked in my mind, right? Not because I was so innocent at that point. I was
oh, there's lots of rooms in that floor.
I know. And both me and Sydney were like, oh, what a coincidence, you know? Oh, we're on the same floor. Well, that's a huge coincidence. Right. At this point, I'm just like, you know, I just want to go to my bed and sleep. I'm way too tired. So I'm like, yeah, cool. That's a huge coincidence. So we go up to the floor, and then. So I go in I go to my room first, and Sydney's just a bit behind me because I'm tired as fuck, and I just want to get into my hotel room. And so I go to the door, put my key in, I turn around, and the kid's still there, and I'm just like, what are you doing? And he straight up tells me, oh no, I just completely lied. I just wanted to see where you were staying, and like I'm like. What the fuck do I say to this? And then apparently, when I wasn't looking, before I had asked that, he tried to go in for a kiss with Sydney. And Sydney told me this after we had got in our hotel room. And then after he said, oh no, I'm lying. I just wanted to see where you guys were living. Bye. And he just fucks off. I'm like, what? Do I call security? What the fuck? Because I didn't even get his name. Right. So I didn't know who this kid was. I'd met it. It was just this random kid that I had met. He knew who I was, obviously, but it was this random kid who I'd met just on the convention floor. And so this was the first time I'd had like a fucking freak out in my hotel room to be like, yo, shit, we gotta call security. We're to be like, can we get like, can someone to stand outside this door? Do we change hotel rooms? What the fuck do we do? And that was the exact moment when I'm just like, okay, I gotta be fucking careful about who I hang out with at conventions. So if I'm a bit standoffish when I meet someone new at conventions, blame that guy, okay?
That's where the PTSD stems from.
That's where the PTSD comes from.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I had something kind of similar to that. I mean, I've had multiple experiences similar to that. But I think the creepiest one that I ever had was, it wasn't even in a hotel room. Right. I was staying, it was like the first time, so I'd been to Otakuthon in Montreal a couple of times.
Yeah.
But
everything fucking weird happened.
Yeah, legit. Like, nothing against Montreal. Montreal's a beautiful city, but all the weird shit happened to me there. So I was staying at my friend's place at the time, like, because he lived like 5 minutes train from the convention hall. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll just stay at his. And we were staying with like a couple of other friends. And this was before the convention had even started, right? But I was a guest at that convention, so people around Montreal knew that I was going to be at that convention.
Right.
And it was like midnight, right? Like 12 a.m. And I was just fucking around with my friends. And we get a knock on the door. And there's like... And I was like, okay. I open the door. And there's just a box sitting there. Like, not even a package. Like, not even mail. Just a box. And I'm like, is this a bomb? Like, what is this? And I told the friend who owned, the place, I was like, did you get a package? And he was like, no. I'm like, did anyone here get a package? He's like, no.
What's in the box?
And then I flipped the box over and it says to Joey.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh no. I fucking like looked around and was like, there's no one around. So I took the box in. I don't know why the fuck I took the box in. I took the box in, closed the door, and I slowly opened it, and it was a Tupperware container of, you know what poutine is?
Yeah.
No.
Poutine is like, it's this like dish
it's cheesy chips.
It's cheesy chips basically with gravy. It's like a French Canadian thing.
I fucking love cheesy chips with
yeah.
gravy.
Poutine's fucking delicious, right? But it was a Tupperware full of poutine.
Right.
And on top of the Tupperware, it said, I'm a huge fan of you, Joey. I made some poutine for you.
Was it still hot?
It was still hot.
How did he know where you were staying?
That's exactly what I want to know. That's why I was shitting my pants.
Wait. Was it good?
I didn't eat it.
What the fuck? I would have ate that.
No.
Dude, okay.
I've seen Higurashi, dude. I've seen the scenes where you eat the fucking ohagi and there's a giant needle inside. I was like, I wasn't going to have that shit.
All right. One time, right, I got gifted like a whole ass bento box, like a legit, like big ass bento box.
Yeah.
And someone made a curry in it, like a whole curry. And I wasn't going to eat it, but I was in the hotel room. It was like 12 a.m. I was fucking starving.
Right.
So I remember I had the bento box in my room.
Yeah.
And I take this curry. And I didn't have like a knife or fork. So I'm in a fucking hotel room.
Yeah.
But I had like the the ice pick thing.
Yeah.
Like knife. It was like a fork, like 2 prongs. So I was just like fucking scooping up this curry.
Yeah.
And I was eating it and it fucking tastes so good. It was such a good curry.
Oh no, I fucking remembered. Like,
But I was like so fucking ghetto eating that with like my fucking ice pick.
yeah,
like,
I
fucking-
wouldn't do that. I just remembered though with the poutine thing, I didn't eat it because I was too fucking
I'd
scared
eaten
to.
that shit.
But
I mean, like-
but my friend was like, "Fuck it, I'll eat it."
I would have eaten that
Still
in a
warm.
heartbeat. You kidding
But
me?
then he ate it, and the first bite he took, he was like, "Why is there a giant hair in this?"
Okay, there was none of that in the curry. The curry was clean. It was
Yeah.
good.
And I'm like, there could be two options here. Either one, she, or I'm assuming it's a girl, she accidentally like dropped the hair in, or she was like, I'm gonna get Joey to eat some of my hair.
My DNA.
Yeah,
is in
my
Joey
DNA
now.
is inside Joey. I'm like, oh, just thinking about that shit was so fucking creepy.
I'm gonna be an S tier Joey wife.
I'm gonna be at the top of his ranks
Jesus
when a part of me is
Christ.
inside his stomach. But yeah, just a fair warning for anyone who wants to like gift us anything. Don't gift us food, like especially if
unless it's
handmade.
real bomb, then I'll still eat it. But
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not gonna eat something unless it's like packaged.
I'm fine with food as long as it just doesn't appear in front of my hotel room. Because the weirdest thing I would say is when people know where you're staying in the hotel, and regardless of whether you're a fucking famous YouTuber or not, that shit's weird.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
I mean,
It was the creepiest Uber Eats delivery I'd ever gotten. Right?
I would have eaten that, man.
I don't know,
would've
man.
just,
I mean,
like,
I just ate like I had literally just eaten like store bought poutine
always room for
beforehand.
more, man. Always,
Ah, man.
always
Yeah,
room.
yeah.
That shit fills you up though, dude.
I know.
Poutine's
But
fucking delicious.
I haven't had anything like that. I've been lucky enough to like not be.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm surprised you haven't
Yeah,
had
if
it.
anyone was to have creepy fans, it's you.
Yo, come on, guys, step up. Come on, I need some more story. I'm kidding. No. I mean, sort of, I guess, kind of. Okay, one time in this convention, so typically they don't put you on the first floor. Like, they're not supposed to.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like, because obviously that's where all the elevators are.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all the people are there. So
Yeah.
typically they don't actually put guests on the first floor. They'll normally have a floor that's specifically for staff and guests that's like separate so
Yeah.
that no attendee should be on the same floor
Yeah.
as a guest or a staff. That's what they're supposed to do. But sometimes the cons don't do that. So one of them, I was on the first floor and I was kind of annoyed because I was literally about 15 meters from the elevator.
Right.
So everyone knows where I come from. And
Great placement.
yeah, right next to it. You
Where
can't
do I come
miss it.
from? Where do I go?
Exactly. Cotton Eye Joe. So it was just like asking someone to see where I was staying, and I'm sure most people saw where I were. Luckily,
Yeah.
no one took advantage of that. But at about like 2 a.m. one night, I'm like basically naked, but I really wanted ice, and the ice thing was right next to my room. And I thought, Mission Impossible, right? It's 10 seconds in and out, no problem. I'm in my boxes only, right? I'm like, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna fucking do it. Like, I
Yeah.
don't care. Like, if someone sees me, who cares? I'm like building myself up confidence. I could have just put a t-shirt on. No,
Yeah.
I'm building myself up. I open the door and there's just 2 girls sitting there opposite my door.
Right.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I've been like fucking SpongeBob's been on like full volume in my room, dude. Like, what are you?
And you're naked.
And I'm like basically naked and I'm like, I go to the ice machine and I get it and I go back in and I'm like, as I'm closing my door, I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. I'm like, all right then.
Did they know you?
I don't know. I didn't ask. I just closed the door when they said nothing. I'm like, all right, I'm going back to bed.
Meanwhile, they were like huge fans and they're just creaming themselves.
Maybe. I mean, it's
Yeah.
basically watching one of my cosplay videos, so it's not really
I
like a big
saw
deal.
Sea Dog VA's nipples. He
I
came
said-
out
it's
watching.
so
Not
on
nothing
YouTube.
new.
They're on
Nothing new.
YouTube.
It's not-
It's
it's
not a
not
big
new.
For
deal.
some reason, he came out of his hotel room butt naked watching SpongeBob. I don't
know.
want to
I
ask
was-
why
I
he
was-
was doing that.
I just want ice. You know? And one time I was on like the 7th floor in like Minneapolis and I went to my room. No one else on this floor. There was just this like 7-foot white dude just sitting in front of my door. Just sitting in front of it, literally blocking it. And I was
Yeah.
like, hey, can I get in my room? He's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, I've had that plenty of times too.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
people, random people sitting in front of my door, and it's almost always people who don't know who I am.
Yeah, because
I'm like, why are you here?
because it's like I mean, at conventions, hotel rooms just become a fucking zoo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was just so confused. I'm like, okay. Like he was literally like, not even like next to it, like in front of my door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I like kind of like, I'm like, hey, can you move?
Yeah.
I kind of want to get in my room.
Like why do these like attendees think that like hotel hallways are the same as convention hallways, right? So you can't just sit in the
Yeah.
hallway.
And I didn't say anything because I was like, I'm going to hope that when I leave this room in 20 minutes after I've had my shower, that
Yeah.
you will not be there. Luckily, he wasn't.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I was like, that was just
So
so
you've
weird.
never had like the getting a letter slipped under your hotel door and stories like
People
that?
stalking you back to your room.
Yeah.
No, they always like give it to my face, which is
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah. I had someone who
That's much nice. I wish I had that.
I had someone who's like, this is for you, and it was an envelope.
Yeah.
I thought,
Yeah.
oh, that's nice. They've written me like a little card.
Yeah.
And I noticed like it's a little light. It's a little, it's a little light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the helper next to me is like, oh, you should open it. And I was like, I was going to leave it because normally I like leave it till I
Yeah.
get back because people are still coming. And I open it up, and it's a hotel key card. And on the envelope, they've written their room number. And I was like, damn.
Damn, son.
And then the handler.
Did you go?
No.
Any straight,
I think they were
any dude watching this is like, it's a free
They
invitation.
were like a fairy tale cosplayer, so I was like,
Right.
no thank you. I'm kidding. I just thought, this is not the kind of Chris Hansen trap I need to walk into.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
this is, no.
Yeah.
This is like a James Bond plot, but no thank you.
Yeah.
And like the handler next to me was like, damn.
I was like, can I have that?
I was like, you want it? Like, I asked them to give it back to the hotel. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, people give like numbers and
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean,
but
like-
it's just flattering. I'm like, thank you. Wow, you just made. You think I'm worth texting? You
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, get out of here, you. I like it. I don't know. It's nice.
Yeah, I
Feel
think
free to
like
give me a number.
the
I'll just
nicest
throw it away.
the nicest gift I've ever got from a fan was it was also at AX where
A lot of my enemies.
no, so someone had given me also like it was like a handwritten letter, but with the letter was like it came in a box, and in the box was like a lot of origami cranes that she had like
cool.
that she had like folded herself, and I'm like, did you do this all by hand? And she's like, yeah, you know, I was just bored and I just wanted to give you something that was memorable, and it was definitely memorable because it was like I was like,
I mean, you're telling the story of it right now.
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
I still remember to this day. I still have it. It was the first time I felt like maybe I'm doing some good in this world, man. I'm so happy. Thank you so much. But yeah, it was just
Let's
like
talk about anime titties and I get this beautiful gift.
have you seen like that Vine or whatever where the guy's making a sandwich with crisps? And it's like, you made this for me?
Oh, yeah.
Bro, you made this for me? I love you, bro. That's how I felt in that exact moment.
Do you remember that like really like creepy statue I had at my house?
Yeah.
I loved this.
Wait, what is it?
loved this. A fan had made me this statue.
Yeah.
And it was like a proper clay statue.
Right.
And it was
Yeah.
like, you know, I don't think they were like amazing at it, but it was so fucking sweet, but it was so cursed and creepy at the same time. But it was so I just couldn't imagine the amount of thought they put into this that I was like,
Right.
I fucking loved it so much. So I kept it in my house. So whenever people
Yeah.
came to my house, they're like, the fuck is that? What is that? And I'm like, oh, it's a statue of me. Like, you? That's you? I'm like, it's not the most flattering, but a fan gave it to me. Like, oh, that's nice. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
fucking, I love
Yeah,
it.
probably because when you said it's a statue of you, it was like, did you
because
make that?
The thing was as well is that it kind of looked really beat up because it like went through the mail as well.
Yeah.
And I had to like, I thought this thing was so cool that they'd done it that I spent like an hour and a half super gluing it all back together
Right.
just so I could display it in my
Yeah.
house and creep everyone out, I guess by accident. But I thought like, oh, this is so sweet. And it's in my parents' house creeping them out,
Yeah.
I guess. Thank you to that one fan who sent me that statue of me in like an L pose.
Yeah, we appreciate that shit so much, honestly.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, we don't do anything that amazing to be
Yeah.
able to get gifts
when
like that. So.
like being given anything, it just feels really
Yeah.
weird that you would want to give something to us anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And not weird in a bad way, just weird for us because we're just like, we don't do anything special. We just fucking talk
Fucking
about
make videos.
talk about anime titties and whatever.
It's very humbling because I feel like I make the videos just for myself and to
Yeah.
obviously pay the bills.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the main reasons. I make the videos first and foremost for me, and
Yeah.
then it's just like I constantly forget how much people enjoy them, and
Yeah.
it's really just like, oh shit, it's these mean things to people. Like I don't know, not that my videos are like worth meaning anything. I don't think that. I'm not conceited at all to think that. But when people are like, oh,
My videos are deep.
right? Like you meet so many YouTubers like, I'm doing this because it keeps people happy.
I'm changing the world.
Without me, depression would go up 10%.
I'm
Like-
changing the wall. I'm like, you make reaction
Yeah.
videos.
It's like I get it for some people. It's like that routine because I've had that where someone's video, even though it's dumb, has like helped me out.
Yeah.
like a
Yeah,
lot,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
exactly.
I've come to, I don't know, man. It's hard to explain.
It's always
a mess.
it's always humbling because what we see on our side is just a number.
It's
and
so-
the number
yeah.
means nothing. But when we go to a convention and we see a
Yeah, I
room
said that.
full of people and it's like putting actual people and faces and interactions to those numbers is like unless you've experienced it, you can't really describe it. You know what I mean? It's very humbling and it's very flattering, and you don't quite know what the right way to react to it is. So we just hope that we react in a way that, one, doesn't make you feel bad, and two, doesn't make us seem like conceited arseholes.
I just want you, if you know me and you come up to me, to just have like go away from that interaction thinking, damn, Connor was everything I wanted him to be. That's all I want. And it's so hard because sometimes I'm like, did I say the right thing? Should I have squeezed them a little harder with the hug? Should I have like shaken their hand longer?
Sometimes like every time after a convention, like I wake up in a cold sweat to be like, man, was I an arsehole to that one person? Like I was just trying to get food. Like
am I gonna get cancelled? Am I gonna get cancelled?
And it's also like, you know, because some people, they always like want a little more, and it's hard because you like, especially if you're going out for like dinner with your like, friends, it's like, oh man, I really don't want them to be like, damn, Connor's an asshole, he wouldn't let me eat with him. And it's like, well, I mean,
for some reason I don't give a shit about the one hate comment or like the 100 hate comment.
Right.
Oh, you see on a YouTube comment, but the thought of this guy trashing me to his friends just
That's
fucking keeps that keeps me up at night, man.
Because it's so real, right? It's so real.
I could be totally in the right and being like, fuck off. But I can't do it because I'm like, man, this guy respects me so much, and I really don't want to be mean. And I'm trying to explain it so nice, but he's just not getting it.
Because sometimes. You know, there's a little part of you where if the roles were reversed, you'd be like, man, I think I was a fucking asshole.
I get it.
Which, by the way, shout out to that guy I met in Akihabara, who I told the story about, for being a good sport about it. You know, it was an awkward interaction, but thank you for being a good sport about it. You know, I saw your comment and everything. So I mean,
bottom line, we appreciate every single person who comes up to us. It's just that sometimes, every now and then, there's just that one really weird person.
Just like, you know, social.
Just be a normal. Just be you.
Just be you. Understand that social norms do exist in anime conventions.
They know that. You know that. You're normal. You're a trash taster. You wouldn't do that. Come on.
I think the best way to word it is treat us no differently how you would just treat a stranger. Because, you know, it's how I would explain like parasocial relationships, where I've watched people, you know, on YouTube that, you know, you do feel like a connection with, because you feel like you do know them, but you have to understand that's a one-way connection. You wouldn't go up to a random stranger and be like, yo, bruv, I know everything you've done, you know, I know your entire life story. Let's be friends. You know, there are several steps for both ends when it comes to making friends, whether you know the person or not. And our perspective is we don't know you. You know what I mean? So as long as you just come in with that perspective,
that is the worst question. I hate it the most. Like, can we be friends? It's the worst question, because there's like
so loaded.
It's like, how on earth do you expect like me to answer that? Like, yeah, we're best friends. Here's my fucking phone number. We're going on vacation next week. Right, come join.
By the way, what's your name?
You don't make friends by asking someone, "Can we be friends?"
Right. Like, I feel like asking that question, you never win as the person asking that question. You're never going to get what you want, and all you're doing is making the situation awkward for everyone involved. Where I have to explain to you, be like, so I don't know you. I would like to, you know, I'm happy to talk to you and get to know you a little bit.
And I hate that talk too, because it makes you sound like an asshole.
I don't want to, because it makes me feel like I'm like putting them below me. Like, you don't have the right to be friends. It's not
you don't have enough subs to be my
friend. But it's so difficult because there's no way of really explaining that without making it sound like you're in the better position of like, hey, no.
Well, the way I would think about it is, I mean, like I said, you wouldn't ask a person that you, whether they're famous or not, you've just met, can we be friends?
True.
Like 90% of the time, they're going to be like, I mean, I don't know you, and you don't know me.
Who are you?
It's like, can we get to know each other first?
And
exactly. Then we can decide, right? Yeah. But not through asking that question.
True.
Now I'm actually just curious, like, once conventions do start to open up again, I wonder how many people are going to come up to us being like, you're Joey from Trash Taste, right?
Trash Taste as opposed to channel?
Yeah, as opposed to like the anime man. I'm genuinely curious.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Because I'm sure there's like some Trash Taste viewers who don't watch our like individual channels, right? Or probably never knew us before Trash Taste, right? So I'm just curious, like, who's going to be the first person to be like, "Yo, it's Joey Connor from Trash Taste."
I can't wait.
That's going to be fucking weird.
I just miss all the mispronunciations of my username. I've like got a fucking list of all the mispronunciations of like everyone who's tried to pronounce Giguk.
Dude, I get that too. And I'm like, I remember I had one guy in an Anime Expo being like, yo, are you Josh the anime man? I'm like, what? It's not even close.
Wasn't that one guy who like
in Singapore, right? He's like, are you Giga? meanwhile, Garnt is standing right next to me.
right next to you.
I'm like, no, that's Giga, actually.
Oh
That's my fucking favorite.
How do you do that?
I don't know. Like, oh yeah, it's hilarious. Well, either way, we fucking miss conventions. I'm sure if
Invite
you're a
us.
convention goer, you probably miss conventions.
We'll go to any convention. Just invite us, please.
Just
Yeah.
invite us. Yeah.
Honestly,
I'm
invite
sure we
us.
have some other stories that we've forgotten or something that we can tell.
Yeah, there's be more in future. We'll just tell them.
Yeah.
Also, if you want us to go to a convention near you when they eventually open up, the best way to do it is to like email the convention yourself and tell them you want to see us. That is by far the best way to get us going because the owners don't know who you want, so you have to actually tell them.
Yep.
Don't tell us. We can't do shit.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Don't like. We get so many like emails and tweets
Yeah, I
and
get a
whatnot, being
lot.
like, "Hey, can you come to this convention?" It's like
Dude, ask the owner.
We don't make that decision.
yeah, we don't make that
We
decision.
get the invites
Yeah.
from a convention. So if there's enough interest for your local convention,
That's
wherever
like
you
saying
wanna
like,
go.
"Hey, can you go to this random person's wedding?" It's like I didn't get the invite, dude. I can't go.
It's like, no, bro, you're playing at this concert, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're playing this gig.
Yeah.
You
Can you go to the gig? It's like, no, I can't. No. So let your like local convention or whatever know who you want.
I want to go anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And you have to
Honestly,
go
like
first.
conventions, I fucking love conventions because it gives me an
and
excuse to go travel.
whatever conventions wants to host the first in-person Trash Taste
do it.
panel.
Let's do
Ooh, that's good. That would be some
gonna
spicy
do
shit.
that?
That would be some spicy
That would
shit.
be fucking
Hell yeah.
awesome. Yeah. In the meantime, though, look at these lovely patrons who support the show.
Damn, I love those patrons, man.
Yeah.
I
Damn.
fucking love them.
These guys are very normal at conventions.
Yeah. I bet they won't stalk me.
Yeah,
I
they
bet-
won't glop me. It's all right. But if you'd like to be in part of that group, then make sure to go over to patreon.com/trashtaste. Best place to support the show directly. Also, follow us on Twitter and Reddit, subreddit.
Yeah.
Lots of memes there, lots of greatness there. We love it.
All right.
But yeah, guys.
That's it, boys.
Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.